Don't miss the awesome Naruto stories my sister creates. Her last channel was hacked, so to stay in the loop, please subscribe to her new channel. It would mean a lot to her, and you won't regret it. Hello to all lovers of lemon scenes. I invite you all to my boosty so you can watch your favorite Naruto What If stories in complete comfort. A subscription to Naruto Lemon, the first video with a full lemon, is already on my boosty channel. Dare! Somewhere in nothing. Oh hi. You probably have a lot of questions. Well, yes. You died. You should have managed to cough it up, while reading. Haha, oh I can't, another Naruto fanfic. This is hilarious, they'll roll over laughing fahaha, in their chair. And hit their heads. On the corner of the closet. Bahaha. Phew, it seems to have gone away. Oh. In general, your death impressed me and therefore I decided that burying such talent in a series of rebirths is short-sighted. So. Rejoice, mortal. We can say that your personal paradise awaits you. Well, or as they say in your native world, be afraid of your desires. The last thing I saw before darkness swallowed me. It's like in the eyes of my interlocutor, in which myriads of stars were born and died. A cluster of stars flashed by, which for some reason seemed to me malicious. Konohagakure no Sato. Pain. No, not like this. Pain. So bright that it blinds my self-watering eyes, and my body screams against my will, in a vain attempt to somehow drown out this unbearable feeling. But suddenly, very close, another scream is heard. No, this is not a cry of pain. This is the roar of fury. Pure, unclouded rage, before which even my pain shyly retreats. And I finally notice a translucent parchment floating up as if from nowhere, covered with seemingly luminous writing. Congratulations! You were reborn in one of the alternative realities of World No. S57-0GH and 937JK80Z, better known to you as Naruto World. As soon as I understood what was written on the ghostly parchment scroll, the text changed. Congratulations. Personal Objective Reality, POR, is activated. Type, Gamer, Category 5, remember that one soul cannot have more than 3 active POR. Have a fun game. Sincerely, your personal game master, parallel personality of the Prince of the Void, under the code, polite ulcer number 459003728705537-02. Oh wow. Well, I got it. From the word ass. Complete. Tough. Attention. Global event plus 80 LV. Stop the destruction of Konohagakure no Sato from the clutches of the Bijou, Kyubi no Yoko, Kurama. Reward, half of Kurama's soul, x2, ingredient for sealing. Needed for the subclass, Jinchuriki. Penalty for failure, your soul will be devoured by a demon. You're kidding me. I'm a him, baby. Attention. Your memories of your past life and POR, gamer, are blocked until the first day of school. Have a fun game. Sincerely, your personal game master, parallel personality of the Prince of the Void, under the code, polite ulcer number 459003728705537-02. What, and to the sound of explosions I was again engulfed in darkness. About 5 years later. Konohagakure no Sato. Hooray! It's a new day. Today I will definitely learn some super technique and then I will become Hokage. I shout out the window. So ramen, where are you my ramen? Ah. Where are you? So, expired, well, you can't scare a real ninja with some kind of scribble. This is my ninja way. Mwahaha, so they poured it in, now brush your teeth, it will brew for now. My darling. Sounds kind of disgusting, where does it come from? While brushing my teeth I noticed something in the periphery of my vision, as soon as I thought about it. Congratulations. Today is your first day of school at Shinobi Academy. Personal objective reality. Type, gamer, category 5, unlocked. What else is Databeo? Memories of your past life, unlocked. OTYZH. And I was once again dragged into the arms of darkness. Somewhere. It's dark and damp. It looks like some kind of sewer, only there are not enough rats. Attention. Critical personality error. Personality, unlocked. Naruto's personality is active. Mental incompatibility of personalities. Please choose one of the options to solve the problem. Naruto's dominant personality, memories of a past life will seem like just a dream to you. Part gamer is active. Personality dominant, you will perceive the world as a kind of game with a stake in life. Part gamer is active. And what does this mean Databeo, what the ... Of course I choose Naruto, Databeo, this is not the time to play games. I still need to get to the academy and learn some super technique there to become Hokage, be myself or finally become this cheerful idiot, and you're still asking. Of course the second option. Attention. Since the soul cannot independently determine the dominant personality, the choice will be made for you. Have a fun game. Sincerely, your personal game master parallel personality of the Prince of the Void under the code, Polite Ulcer number 45900372887-05537-02. Oh, what a headache. Well, at least he returned home. There's already a smell of rotten ramen. No, I can do without breakfast. They say hunger strikes are useful, it's better to get dressed. So it's still me. Bite Narutic Databeo. Oh. What? Urgently, how to call, status. About. He came out himself, a protoplasmic scroll. Well, let's read. Name, Naruto Uzumaki. Level, 1/0/100. Vitality, VPS 160/160. Spiritual Force, DS 30/30. Chakra, blocked up to LV 10. Vitality, 8, MR 1.7. Strength, 4, MR 1.0. Dexterity, 3, MR 1.0. Perception, 4, MR 1.0. Thinking, 5, MR 1.0. Will, 3, MR 1.7. Luck, -35, MR 0.5. Features and achievements. Part gamer, category 5. Life is a game, and you definitely have to win it. Game conventions apply to you, as if you were a character in a game. Uzumaki, category 1. Even though you are only a half-breed with a recessive gene, Uzumaki blood still flows in your veins. HP x2, Vitality, M, plus 0.3. Namikaze? Blocked. To unlock, complete the Blood of the Father quest chain. Vessel of Fury. Are you afraid of demons? You just don't know how to cook them. Half of the soul of Kyubi no Yoko, Kurama, is sealed in your stomach, the Jinchuriki development branch is open, the chance of losing control over the demon is -15%, Vitality, M plus 0.4. By Dominant. Who said that a mental hospital is crying for me? You haven't communicated with Goranik yet. By the will of the higher powers, you have become a bipolar personality, the risk of becoming crazy plus 20%, mind protection plus 10%, your mental characteristics are average from previous personalities, opens up the opportunity to receive a second stream of consciousness, opens the many faces development branch. Great Kolobok, Category 2. I left Sarutobi, I left Danzo, and I'll leave you Kurama too. Due to the merger of personalities into a new dominance, all bookmarks placed on the old personalities before the merger period were removed. Will, M, plus 0.4. Will of Steel, 4th category. You grew up surrounded by hatred and are still alive. And they didn't even go crazy, probably. Will, M, plus 0.3. Loser, 3 categories. You are unlucky neither in your past life, nor in this one, and even in absolute emptiness, you hear laughter at yourself. Luck, minus 30, luck, M, minus 0.5, the chance that you will be mistaken for a clown plus 10%. Merger means? Judging by the description, it's not that bad. It could have been. Attention. Urgent quest. First time in first grade. Get to the academy on time. Reward, relationship with Irika Sensei plus 10. During classes at the academy, stat growth modifiers are plus 0.2 until graduation. Penalty, relationship with academy teachers minus 15. Classmates minus 5. Before classes start. 4 minutes and 59 seconds. 58. 57. That's it. Okay. Run. Well, just wait, I'll get to you, polite Ulcer-san. 0.10 minutes later. Shinobi Academy. Audience 302. I'm sitting on the Kamchatka and thinking how I came to live like this. Right now it's still just an introductory lesson and a limping Irika. I wonder, did the bonus plus 10 turnips cover the fact that I literally crushed the sensei into the door at the last second? Well, at least they counted and that's good. Rants about how lucky we are that we chose the shinobi profession. Yeah, future murderers and maniacs, that's a dream job. But I got a little distracted. So I sit here and think. On the one hand, I'm still alive, one might say I received that same mythical, second chance, and I even got rid of the bookmarks and now my eyes have been opened to a lot of things. What a bijou Hokage. Oh Kami, what a shame. I've only been in the bi-dominant state for a few minutes, and I'm already ready to write myself off as crazy. My thoughts are racing and confused. Am I a wiser Naruto? Or am I still a loser who vilely captured this carcass? Well, maybe I'll get used to it over time. Well, or there will be one more inadequate shinobi. With such a quantity, no one will even notice the difference. Oh, by the way, about the difference, the fact that I did have bookmarks on me, and to my surprise, but on both individuals. I wonder where the student managed to pick them up, speaks to the fact that not everything is so happy in the shinobi kingdom and rely completely on canon is not worth it. Yes, and with this, gamerpur, or whatever it is called, we need to sort it out. And generally speaking. Where is my observation? Reference. Observation is a passive perception skill. To study, raise perception to 10 and find a teacher/handbook. Yeah, it's clearer now. It's a bummer though. Since we have such a super-friendly interface, what are these promised characteristic growth modifiers? Reference. Characteristic growth modifier, or MR, is the efficiency of growth of characteristics with their active use. MR at 1.5 means that you will raise the value of the stat at 1.5 faster than at 1.0. Does not apply when ready-made stat points are awarded, per level, bonuses, etc. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. Is it that my vitality and will grow 1.7 times faster? Yes, this is a cheat. Although, if you remember the same Rock Lee, it seems like he can't use chakra. However, while still a genin, he was slightly inferior to the same Sakura at the end of the canon. Yeah. On bare physics. When did he manage to swing like that? No, if I find out for sure that the whole secret is in the power of youth, and the green overalls, I will ask to become Guy's student. Attention! The achievement Rotten Youth has been obtained. The power of youth must burn in the heart. There is no room for brains here. The Green Beast of Konoha development branch is blocked, the Youth Burns in Our Hearts achievement is blocked, relations with Might Guy -25. Have a fun game. Sincerely, your personal game master. Parallel personality of the Prince of the Void under the code, Polite Ulcer number 45900372887-05537-02. For what? No, I'm definitely going to get to this Polite Ulcer someday. I took it and ruined such a freebie, and also reduced the turnip. I wonder if he's on me now by chance. Otherwise I won't even survive a click from it now. Oh, the lesson is over, that's all for today. Well, yes, everyone is leaving. Oh. These are the views. And I managed not to notice this before. Things are going well, at least things are better with the clan members, judging by their faces, they simply despise me, like other non-clan members, and do not fear or hate me. The pressure is certainly tough. How do they say in many knowledges, many sorrows? Well, no matter who said it, the man was 100% right. I was stupid and I didn't give a how they looked at me. I just didn't understand it. And abruptly changing behavior is clearly not the answer. They'll send you to Danzo or the Yamanakas in an instant. So let's get together. You have at least half of the former Naruto. Just make your face like a brick, so smiling it's disgusting, and pretend to be a broom. Irika-sensei. Wait. Well, where are you going? Teach me some super technique so that I can quickly become Hokage. Wait, I can't keep up with you. So, I got out of the class, Irika ran away from me, it seemed like he didn't break out of his image. How empty the academic site is on the first day. It's a pity that the bonus is only valid during school hours, otherwise it would have swayed. Although, where else could a poor orphan find such a training ground? At home I'm still going crazy and there's basically nothing for me to do there, I'll still have time to do a mischief to the townspeople today. Attention! Daily Quest. Masterclass of Red Orange. During today, create pranks for at least 5 people. Reward, experience +5 for mischief. Relations with townspeople will drop by -2, wait, you brat. Opportunity to learn disguise and fox step without a teacher/aide during the completion of the task. Penalty. Relations with townspeople will drop by -10, he's kind of unsociable. Don't you know? It's true, how scary, but he looks like a cute child. The ANBU route may suspect you. Well, just gorgeous. You can't say anything, what kind of reward is this with a decrease in reputation? No matter where you spit, you will still hit yourself in the eye. About. That's exactly what I came up with. So the first one to go is that old man who is a Fuinjutsu master. It seems that according to rumors, and what the townspeople don't talk about when they think that guy is an idiot, he sold fake seals to clanless genins, and how he's still alive. True or not, the residents dislike him almost more than me. They are probably jealous, the work is not dusty, he definitely has enough bread and butter, with caviar and a thick slab of ham on top, yeah. And then I'll go through the visitors or those about whom similar rumors are circulating. An hour and a half later at the Shinobi Academy training ground. I thought for a long time about how I could harm this Fuin master, but somehow the thought never entered my head, until I started thinking about what Fuinjutsu ink is actually made from. Well, yes, before my rebirth, I also sincerely believed in chakra-conducting ink, but it turned out. Never mind. Prints in ink. Like Japanese ink paintings in my old world. Just like that. Well, I got distracted again. So this is what this miracle mascara is made of. Without thinking twice I headed to the public library. May the fans of the canon me curse me. The quick, indifferent glance of the library keeper, well, you thought, this is the world of shinobi. So exactly the library keeper, changed the emotions of its owner. First in recognition, then in stupor, aha. Naruto himself. He went into the library. To be honest, I thought he was about to put a seal and shout, Kai, but the old man apparently turned out to be experienced and the stupor was replaced by an indignant face, and he himself stood in front of me, blocking the passage. Well, that's it, he'll kick you out now. And again I didn't guess. I don't care who you are, in the end, even people like you are sometimes drawn to knowledge. Did he insult me? But there is only one trick of yours, within the walls of this knowledge repository, and it is better for you to forget the court road forever. And a demanding gaze stared at me. Does it require an answer? Well, it's not difficult for me. The face is a smiling brick, but I'm getting better and better every time, the tone is more cheerful. Hi. Could you please tell me where I can find descriptions of Fuinjutsu and chakra conducting mascara here? About some more super cool ninja technique. What are you talking about? Kidding me? Oh, wow, you guessed right. What are the ninja techniques for bijou? This is a public repository of knowledge, do you understand? About Shist Venoi. We make an offended face so quickly. Just remember the moment and Dad admitted that Santa Claus does not exist and he actually put the gifts. About. Wow. It worked. Look how his eyes darted. Well, he was right to deceive the child in his best feelings. Shame on you. Ha. But here there is a description of the basics of Fuinjutsu. Come on. Seriously. 3rd row, 8th row, 4th shelf. Is it true? It's a pity that there aren't any cool jutsu here, no super, I even lowered the bar. Appreciate, but this will do. 2 hours later. Konoha Public Library. And so I sit at the farthest table in the library and read Little Secrets of the Applied Fuin Master. In fact, the writing is not so bad, I thought it would be worse. True, my luck, well, or one polite bastard screwed me up here too. I glance sideways at the other 3 scrolls and once again look at this mockery. Scroll benefit. Description of the basics of Fuin art for beginners. Unlocks the skill, simple Fuin seals. Requirements for studying, 10 LVL. Dexterity, 10, perception, 20, will, 30. Scroll of recipes. The basics of constructing the simplest Fuin seals. Unlocks 2 random recipes for the basic Fuin seals skill. Requirements for learning, simple Fuin seals. 1. Scroll of recipes. Principles of constructing the simplest Fuin seals. Unlocks 4 random recipes for the basic Fuin seals skill. Requirements for learning, simple Fuin seals, 3. The funny thing is that the real names of the scrolls do not match the names in the system. Only the theme. But this fact makes me feel like a dead poultice. Little Secrets turned out to be a scroll of recipes for the simplest chakra-conducting ink and paper. And of course I'm not pumped up enough to study it. But no one cancelled my eyes. Ugh, don't let Cammy, and this bastard will try. So I sit and fish out the knowledge I need like an ordinary mortal. No, the text is clear to me, but to create both ink and paper I need, what do you think? Chakra, of course. Where would we be without it, and also the dust of chakra conducting iron, metal into dust. What's that like? Not into shavings or powder, I understand, but into dust, the blood of the Fuin master itself, of course, mixed with chakra concentrated in a special way, coal dust of special trees. Yeah, the Senju didn't grow their forest of death out of boredom, it turns out. Now the union of Uzumaki and Senju is becoming more clear, and even a few ingredients. And this is the simple chakra-conducting mascara. I shudder to imagine the recipe for some epic mascara, if there is one. With a sigh worthy of the best representatives of the Nara clan, I rub my eyes and put the scroll aside. I need to take a break, otherwise my whole body is numb. Gymnastics is for the lazy. What can I do? Although no, it's no longer worth it, and the local level boss is looking at me suspiciously. So, read on. An hour and a half later. Right there. In the end, it turned out that not everything was so scary. The main thing is that all the main ingredients are present. And if you add something of your own to the finished mascara, it may not deteriorate, but simply exhibit new properties. About. Here it is. This is the very dirty trick I wanted. If I understand correctly, chakra-conducting iron differs from ordinary iron in that it conducts chakra. That's all. From a chemical point of view, forgive the shinobi world, from an alchemical point of view they are identical, if you don't add chakra, and no one understood the secret. Well, yes, otherwise they would quickly establish their own production, so to speak, like senju with trees, and not buy from the countries of snow, ice and iron. Well, I got distracted again. So, of course, I am not a chemical technologist, but I understand perfectly well what will happen if manganese is added to this mixture. From the author, if the description contradicts the rules of the site, I am ready to replace manganese with. At the first request of the administration, please do not remove it, but notify, and let many will say, what about the rest of the ingredients and compliance with proportions? But chakra works wonders. Let's hope for such a miracle. All that remains is to figure out how to gain access to the carcass itself. With manganese, everything is trivial. It is sold in a civilian pharmacy. The Iranians, of course, are still miracle workers, but they are not omnipotent, and they mainly serve only shinobi. I would like to say that I went straight to old man Kukio's shop, but my stomach gave me a vote of no confidence and loudly hinted that if I did not receive compensation, then a riot awaited me. Well, yes, I still didn't have breakfast. Eating expired food, unlike my old self, I didn't risk it, it just goes out on the table in the room. My first thought was to go to Ichiraku Ramen, famous in narrow circles. And only after taking the first 3 steps, I was surprised to realize that I didn't know the road. After digging a little into myself and putting my thoughts in order, I realized that I had never been there before. I mean, from the word in general. Well, today is my first day at the academy, and if you remember the canon, Irika brought me there for the first time. But as they say, hunger is not your aunt, you will want to eat more and you won't get so excited. So I decided to go for a run in search of a place where I could satisfy my hunger. 0.30 minutes later. Somewhere on the streets of Kanahagakure no Sato. Still hungry, but in addition to this, sometimes beaten and angry, I trudged along the streets of my native but not so friendly Konoha and thought to the mournful singing of my stomach. I'll have to eat local doshirak until I graduate, with a subsidy for orphans of 7,500 ryo per month. And how in the canon did I even survive? Maybe steal. Well, it doesn't matter now, but still, what bastards. Not only that, in some establishments, they looked at me with contempt or even hatred and fear, this is for a 5-year-old child, and kicked me out as soon as they realized that as a dear guest, from the author. Okaya-kusama, I was not took place. Also, in some they overcharged me. One baker refused to sell anything to the demon spawn. Well, the world is round, we'll meet around the corner. It was on this minor note that a voice called out to me. Hey, boy. What a mess. Bad day, yes. Well, it's okay, nothing happens to everyone, come to me. Now you will taste my ramen and life will immediately take on new colors. I guarantee you this. I have the best ramen in the entire land of fire. Jaya hahaha. Just don't try to fall in love with my daughter I am, otherwise her suitors will not forgive you. Jaya haha. Oto-san. Your jokes again. Look, the child was completely embarrassed. No, I wasn't embarrassed, I was stupefied. Is this some other world? Or am I dreaming? Or maybe they want me, well, I don't know what they want from me. Why such affability and friendliness? From the last establishment that I tried to get into today, they chased me away, almost kicking me. And here. And only when I looked up and read the sign, it slowly began to dawn on me. Yes, and this Tucci is really a kind fellow. If only I wouldn't call him by name, I don't really know him yet. Meanwhile they continued to tell me something. Okay, daughter, stop being indignant, since I embarrassed you, then I'll answer. Come on boy, come in. Since I made a mistake, today mega big ramen with pork is at the house's expense. Eat as much as you want, but just be careful not to burst here. Try it and see that old man Tucci-sama's ramen is the best in the land of fire. No. Whole world jayahaha. Well, since they invite me so persistently, who am I to refuse? Yes, he might be offended if I did this. Okay, old man. You've convinced me. Just be careful that I don't ruin you. Try. Maybe at least you can do it jayahaha. 0.5 servings of mega big ramen and an hour later. Near the Fuin seal shop of Iji Kakio. And now, again, full, or even too full, I didn't expect it from myself, but ramen from Tucci-san is really good. Now I understand why he was mentioned so often in the manga, and happy with life, I stand in front of the shop of my first victim. Well, after praying to Kami, let's get to work. First, you need to get there and get access to the carcass. Well, if what I heard about him is true, then Iji-san is a tight-fisted and home-loving guy. And this means... The ringing of the doorbell announced the passage of the next dear guest, but the quick and tenacious glance of the seller immediately became boring when he saw me. I got bored, but I didn't notice any contempt or hostility in his eyes. Either he doesn't know me or he's not such a bad guy. What do you want, Shket? Don't you see, they sell Fuin seals here, not candies. You have nothing to do here, go play somewhere else. Still, he simply doesn't know about me. On the one hand it's a pity, but on the other hand, now my conscience won't gnaw at me. Hello, my name is Uzumaki Naruto. He reacted to Uzumaki, but not to the name. Why really don't you know? I'm Konoha's main scarecrow. And I came to you to learn the art of Fuin. And before he could drop his jaw with impudence and begin to be indignant, please take care of me. Cough. You don't have the nerve, but what makes you think that I would undertake to teach you? Although you know, perhaps I will teach you, but certainly not for free. Come with your parents and we'll talk about the price, but don't get out of here now. But I'm an orphan. What RO? And since you're an orphan, there's no point in distracting respected people from important matters. Yeah, sitting behind the counter and spitting at the ceiling is just very important. You just can't show your attitude. So, I didn't intend to study for free. In return I will help you in the shop or somewhere else and in general. What can you do? The milk on your lips hasn't dried yet, but he'll still help you there. Check me out. A long, intent and appraising look. Okay, let's see what you're good for. But I still won't let you work in the shop yet. First you help my nephew. And then if he vouches for you and we'll talk about training. Go to the food warehouses behind the Kinyakibuta restaurant, from the author, Golden Fried Pork. I know it's stupid, but nothing else came to mind, or really crazy options. Find Yukaku Kakio there. Say it's from me and explain the situation. Now get out of here. Only I wanted to refuse the honor of working as a mule. Well, what else in the warehouses did I not hesitate to offer to a 5-year-old child, and be outraged by such quirks as a task is available for you. Helping the lazy big guy. Find Yukaku Kakio in the food warehouses and help him with his work. Reward, experience plus 15. Relationship with Kinyakibit staff plus 2. Perhaps old man Iji will agree to teach you Fuin. 500 Ryo. Penalty for refusal/failure, relationship with Iji Kakio minus 5. He won't let you into his store anymore. Agree. Yes/no. Experience, reputation, money. And maybe it's not all that bad. Of course I wanted something more fun, but for my first level this is not bad. Of course. Have you changed your mind yet? No? Then why are you still here? 0.15 minutes later. In the Kinyakibit warehouses. I found the warehouses quickly. Yes, this is not surprising in principle. The restaurant obviously opened recently, so the warehouses were either being completed or expanded. The strangest thing is that both the local staff and the warehouse staff treated my name in a rather unusual way, that is, in no way. Not at all. It was quite strange. Oh, here comes Yukaku, a really big guy. Now it's clear what was meant when they told me, go to the healthiest one and you won't go wrong. He is almost a head taller than everyone else I have seen in this world, and I generally keep quiet about the width of his shoulders. Hello, my name is Uzumaki Naruto. Iji-san said that you have a part-time job for me. He said that if you vouch for me, he will agree to teach me Fuin. The rounded and clearly surprised I was my answer. Well, at least it seemed so to me. Say something already, otherwise I feel like a fool. Yes, Uncle Idzi is in his repertoire as always. Oh, sorry guy, you're just not the first person to come up to me with such a statement. I'll find a part-time job for you, but it's better to think carefully. Do you need it? The old man is very cunning. He will not refuse to deceive even a child. A hint at my age? Although it's not proper for me to say this, it's still family. Although he keeps his word firmly. Even to your own detriment. You just need to keep track of what exactly he promised you. Well, maybe you'll change your mind? Food for thought. Of course you gave me some food for thought, but even so. That experience, reputation and money for the quest will not escape me. No, I firmly decided and I will not back down. This is my ninja way. About. So you are a future shinobi. Well, a strong outlook on life is commendable. After that, Yukaku's gaze looked around, as if deciding where to direct me so that I wouldn't mess up too much. Oh, this is what you need, Naruto, see those boxes. While I was working, I had the feeling that I had forgotten something important, but as soon as I thought about it, the thought eluded me. So I just tried not to pay attention to her. To Yukaku's credit, I must admit that he didn't force me to carry anything heavier than half my weight. But now the light boxes and construction waste are gone and... Okay Naruto, you worked hard and proved that you have perseverance. So here you go. With these words. He wrote something on a sheet pulled out of the envelope, after which he put the sheet back, dripped something from a narrowed bottle on top. Judging by how quickly the liquid froze, it was some kind of analog of sealing wax, and handed it to me. No, these are bugs, huh? The Kakio family clearly has such assistance on stream. There are even standard leaflets with recommendations. The first thought was to see what was written in this recommendation, but judging by the fact that the letter was sealed, this was clearly some kind of test. What for? I'm not joining a secret organization, but I just want to learn Fuin, or so I pretend, but it's really worth trying to ask to become a student. Okay, since I obviously shouldn't open the letter, I'll at least satisfy my curiosity about the strange reaction to my name. Although I feel that this may be a mistake. Sorry, I wanted to know. Do you really not know me? Now he was definitely surprised. And should? Well, actually no, but most of Konoha knows me. Well. Then it's clear, Uncle Idzi just moved here in search of a better life, just 3 years ago. The city was actually being rebuilt from scratch, so he decided to try his luck. About 6 months ago, in my homeland, the land of waves, gangs went wild, and the daimyo was inactive. Evil tongues even say that he is in trouble. But these, of course, are just rumors spread by the envious younger brother of our daimyo. Oh. Sorry, I got distracted, it just boiled over. Don't try to understand, you're too young for that. So our Kukyo family decided to move to a lucky relative. What are you, some kind of celebrity? No. Like? I almost blurted out too much. You shouldn't forget about Danzo and the mind bookmarks that I supposedly have on me. Well, okay, I'll go. Thank you. Aji-san, I'm running. And where is my youth? It came to me from behind. Now let's quickly get out of here. I'm already running to Idzi's shop. I remembered about the money and just wondered where it was. Attention! A new game feature has been activated. The ratio of PUR is produced, gamer, category 5, with the possibilities of an alternative reality of the world No. S57-0GH and 937JK80Z. No complete analogy has been found. The scope of the alternative reality of the world is being expanded No. S57-0GH and 937JK80Z. Congratulations! A new skill has been created, Summon Chakra Wallet. Chakra wallets are pseudo-living creatures of one of the dominions of summoned animals. The technique does not require a summoning contract or chakra to perform. Just make a special seal, mani mani, right hand, the index finger forms a ring with the thumb, the other fingers are protruded, the palm is facing away from you. Left hand, the open palm is looking up. The hand is perpendicular to the right, and say the activator, Daken no Jutsu, summoning the wallet. Have a fun game. Sincerely, your personal game master. Parallel personality of the Prince of the Void under the code, Polite Ulcer number 45900372887-05537-02. In surprise, I stumbled and almost plowed the ground with my nose. What, and I don't care that people are turning to look at me now. That's it. There was no way to do this humanly. I even imagined for a second, here the seller looks at me, then at the product, no matter what, and again at me. And then I'm like, fahaha, oh I can't. It's funny to even imagine. Fahaha. So I kind of laughed it off, and now I'm definitely on my way out of here. Otherwise they don't point fingers at me anymore. Returning to the shop, I found Idzi performing a sacred act, namely casting Fuin seals. He was sitting at a table located on the other side of the counter in the corner, and was drawing something. A luminous piece of paper was attached to the wall on the left, giving a soft light, probably some kind of lighting Fuin seal. When I approached him, he didn't even pay attention to me. I was so focused. But here? He finished and finally noticed me. Oh, Shket. I thought you wouldn't come. What? You failed and Yukaku kicked you out? And now you probably want to ask me for another chance. Well, his name really speaks volumes. Probably because of its harmfulness, there are various rumors about it. You are wrong, Iji-sensei. At these words, he was already warped. Heh. I came to say that I have fulfilled your instructions. Here. I take out a sealed envelope. When will you give me my first lesson? And a bigger and brighter smile. So. Well, let's see. He takes the envelope from me and examines it. Why didn't you even look? Wasn't it interesting to you at all? Well, not a bit. Well, why isn't it interesting? It's very interesting. It's just that if the letter was so ostentatiously sealed in front of me, it means they wanted to test me. Is not it so? Okay, let's assume that you passed the test. Although you reason more sensibly than an ordinary 5-year-old child is capable of. But shinobi children have always grown faster than usual. The fact is that for a true Fuin master, diligence, discipline and attention to detail are important. Therefore, follow me, another test awaits you. With these words, he went and closed the door of the store, and then went into the back room. Oh, I feel like they just want to harass me for free, and all these pretentious words, although true, are in this case nothing more than a lure so that I don't leave ahead of time. So while he was distracted, where is the mascara? Oh, here she is, darling. Add manganese, stir a little. Now everyone just hopes that it will work out. Daily quest. Masterclass of Red Orange, completed. Attention! Since in one action you have completed the daily task Red Orange's Masterclass by more than 10 times. Further execution is blocked. Changes in reward, experience plus 100. Relations with the residents of Konoha do not change, but if they find out who the culprit is, then minus 50. With Iji-san it's the same minus 100. Skills, camouflage and fox step, plus 1, saboteur, plus 2. Luck plus 5. What? How is that? Just because I added manganese to my mascara? Am I missing something? Hey, Shket. How long do I have to wait for you? So, get your act together. Otherwise they will suspect me. Come on. I'm coming, Iji-sensei. Hey. Don't call me sensei, I haven't decided yet whether I will train you. By the way, Iji-sensei, sound of quiet gnashing of teeth, you were so focused when you were drawing the Fuin seals that you didn't even notice me until you were finished. What did you draw? Remember, Shket. Fuin seals are not drawn, they are put on, or, in extreme cases, yat. But they don't draw at all, you understand me? Yes, sensei. Hey. I told you not to call me sensei. As for the seals that I started making there, these are training seals for the academy. Oh / nothing really serious. An ordinary smoke seal based on the principle of parasitic chakra release, children must learn to activate seals on something. My mother is a Jinchuriki. I hope no one gets hurt. These are children. So we need to somehow spill this ink before he donates a batch of seals for her, and I don't care that after that I definitely won't be his student. It's just that the seniors are always stealing them from the academic inventory room to play around with. The teachers don't care, but I have to start again every time. Hey, why are you turning pale? Do you happen to have claustrophobia? No. That's good, probably because of the lighting it seemed. In general, we have already arrived. We will test your attention to detail. You see this shelf, you need. 1 o'clock in the morning. Kanahagakure no Sato. Naruto's apartment in the orphanage. One nervous, blonde child was running circles around the room and trying to pull out his hair. Well, that's how it is. Why didn't this fart watch the mascara at first, and after he plowed me, he didn't even give me a chance to approach that table. I carried out his instructions all day, hoping to catch the moment and spill the ink, and then at least ruin the seals. But no. This old kite kept a vigilant eye on his treasure. And the fact that I gained a total of another 75 experience and 3,000 Rio doesn't make me happy at all now. Please. Kami. At least everything would work out. I don't care about the old man. He blew up his seals. If only the children did not suffer because of my bad head. This should have been said at the end of the day. Flashback. I promised to think about your apprenticeship, and I am always true to my word, so. You are certainly not such a bad guy. At the moment I am not sure that I am such a good one. You have diligence, discipline and attention to detail, yeah, if I had it, I wouldn't feel like this now, like this, but the problem is that I don't need a student, so forgive me. Now get out of here. And as if this is not enough. Reference. Remember that luck is a very multifaceted characteristic. It can even affect the reward level of some tasks. Have a fun game. Sincerely, your personal game master. Parallel personality of the Prince of the Void under the code, Polite Ulcer number 45900372887-05537-02. End of flashback. In the morning, I didn't get enough sleep and was greeted by a message. Attention. Repetitive task. Back to school. Get to the academy before classes start. Reward, experience +2. Relationships with teachers +1. All MR in class +0.1 for today. Penalty, relations with teachers -2. All MR -0.1 for today. Before classes start. 24 minutes and 59 seconds. 58. 57. Purely on autopilot, I brewed an expired doshirak, washed my face, brushed my teeth, ate. And like a zombie, I sadly trudged off to class, not really thinking about whether I would have time or not. 3 days. For 3 whole days I was a cross between a phlegmatic emo and a stimulant-drunk neurasthenic. I even thought about confessing everything, but today I found out that someone again stole almost all the educational seals. Glory to Kami. I don't know who you are, noble thief, but I am sincerely grateful to you. Another week later. This. I just have no words, not swear words. It turns out that the seals were stolen by some idiots from the 4th year in order to play shinobi and nuke Neen in the city. Thank Kami that the seals did not explode, but worked as they should. And everything would be fine, but because of my manipulations with the ink, the smoke from the seals increased many times. And it became a rich purple color and a simply disgusting smell, which ate into literally everything that the cloud of parasitic chakra release reached. I wouldn't be surprised if this day goes down in the official chronicles as Konoha's Purple Terror Day. These guys are already, almost in all seriousness, called the release of the Purple Terrorists. And a couple of Fuin masters are trying to find out from them how they managed to change the usual training seals so much. The Inazuki clan was furious. As a result, they had to go to distant training grounds for a whole week for the Ninken skill test. Is it really masterclass from red-orange, or should we still say purple? Well, now at least it's clear why I was awarded 5 luck. It's hard to describe the feelings I had about the Konoha Purple Day incident. Everything was there. From panic fear for the children, to the feeling of a father who saw how his children surpassed him. From all-consuming guilt to universal relief. From the detachment and humility of a Zen Buddhist, to the irritability of Tsum-sama. Oh, believe me, this is really an indicator. Now there are no doubts about this fact in the village. And yes, in the play, The Enraged Head of the Inazuki Clan, I had enough space in the gallery to add the prefix sama, even in my thoughts. I even seriously doubted that her husband ran away from her and joined the nuke Neen. You can't escape this one. I wouldn't be surprised if someday I find out that his bones were chewed by her Ninkens. But the announcement literally made me laugh hysterically. Congratulations. Your actions inadvertently led to a color revolution, but you remained in the shadows and even benefited from the situation. Obtained the achievement, Lucky Schemer. When I was a student, I was often told that the most terrible word in science is oops, but having become a scientist myself, I realized that more often than not it's quite the opposite. Luck, +5, luck, +0.2. Cough cough. But I got distracted again, in general, during this period. I was slightly known as inadequate. But judging by the fact that I am not yet being tortured in the ANBU route about where I am with the real me, everything is not so bad. It's true, right? In general, when the passions after the purple day of Konoha calmed down a little, and my emotions returned to normal, I remembered what seemed strange to me when I worked for this Kakio family. I did not receive notifications from the system about raising characteristics, skills, or levels in the end. I should have gotten it anyway. I worked like then, and I didn't shirk during those 3 weeks at the academy, even completing quests for the townspeople. Mainly for the sake of reputation. About how much I picked up on the quest to cleanse the city of violet paint. I even managed to find a part-time job. I am now the great and powerful Ichiraku Ramen Man. By the way, I suggested the idea of delivery to him. So what? Slash and Tucci-san expanding the business, and me experience, turnips, money. But I got distracted again. So, just as I wanted to be outraged by the blatant injustice and the universal conspiracy against poor me, in my inner eye, or whatever else you can call it, this ghostly scroll came out again. Reference. To avoid distracting the character from the adventure, all notifications about parameter increases occur in hidden mode. Do you want to switch notification settings to active mode? Not really. And you still ask? Of course yes. No, this system was definitely invented to make fun of me. Attention! Notifications about increasing character parameters have been switched to active mode. Have a fun game. Sincerely, your personal game master. Parallel personality of the Prince of the Void under the code, Polite Ulcer number 45900372887-05537-02. Well, I told you so. This isn't even surprising anymore. Well, since there was such a booze, I should see how I have changed during this time. Name, Naruto Uzumaki. Level, 2, 148/200. Vitality, 300/300. Spiritual force, 90/90. Chakra, blocked up to LV, 10. Vitality, 15, MR 1.7. Strength, 8, MR 1.0. Dexterity, 5, MR 1.0. Perception, 7, MR 1.0. Thinking, 8, MR 1.0. Will, 9, MR 1.7. Luck, -24, MR 0.7. Free stat points, 5. Money, 3,750 Ryo. Skills and abilities. Summon Chakra Wallet, LV Max. Chakra costs, 0, activators, Seal, Mani Mani, Daken no Jutsu, Summon Wallet. Remember that the size of your chakra wallet depends on the amount of money you have at the time of the call. Disguise, LV, 1MR 1.0. Basic characteristics. Perception. Fox Step, LV, 1MR 1.0. Basic Char Agility. Saboteur, LV, 2MR 1.0. Basic Stat. Thinking. Features and achievements. Part Gamer, Category 5. Your whole life is a game, and you must win it. Game conventions apply to you, as if you were a character in a game. Uzumaki, Category 1. Even though you are only a half-breed with a recessive gene, Uzumaki blood still flows in your veins. HP X2, Vitality, M, plus 0.3. Namikaze? Blocked. To unlock, complete the Blood of the Father quest chain. Vessel of Fury. Are you afraid of demons? You just don't know how to cook them. Half of the soul of Kyubi no Yoko, Kurama, is sealed in your stomach, the Jinchuriki development branch is open, the chance of losing control over the demon is -15%, Vitality, M plus 0.4. By Dominant. Who said that a mental hospital is crying for me? You haven't communicated with Goranik yet. By the will of the higher powers, you have become a bipolar personality, the risk of becoming crazy plus 20%, mind protection plus 10%, your mental characteristics are average from previous personalities, opens up the opportunity to receive a second stream of consciousness, opens the many faces development branch. Great Kalabak, Category 2. I left Sarutobi, I left Danzo, and I'll leave you Kurama too. Due to the merger of personalities into a new dominance, all bookmarks placed on the old personalities before the merger period were removed. Will, M, plus 0.4. Will of Steel, 4th category. You grew up surrounded by hatred and are still alive. And they didn't even go crazy, probably. Will, M, plus 0.3. Loser, 3 categories. You are unlucky neither in your past life, nor in this life, and even in absolute emptiness, you hear laughter at yourself. Luck, minus 30, luck, M, minus 0, 5, the chance of being mistaken for a clown is plus 10%. The power of rotten youth. The power of youth must burn in the heart. There is no room for brains here. The green beast of Konoha development branch is blocked, the youth burns in our hearts, achievement is blocked, relations with might guy minus 25. Lucky combinator. When I was a student, I was often told that the most terrible word in science is oops, but having become a scientist myself, I realized that in reality it is often quite the opposite. Luck, plus 5, luck, plus 0.2. Well, it's probably not bad for not a full month, but it's hard for me to judge yet. In some ways, I almost doubled my characteristics, and if I stutter about will, then I even tripled them. Would you like to understand how? After all, he didn't seem to do anything special. Although, if you think about it, in such an unfriendly atmosphere as Konoha, it is almost carefree to behave. Yes, this is most likely it, because before the merger, because of bookmarks, I simply did not notice how people looked at me. No, or rather I noticed, I even really noticed, but I didn't realize all the depressive pressure that was falling on me. Well, that means now you don't have to worry about pumping up your willpower, it will grow on its own. He said it in a very sickening way. So, okay, we sorted that out, but what about the money? Whatever, with your palm facing away from you, fingers in a ring. Daken no Jutsu, summoning a purse. PF, hahaha, no I can't, I'll probably laugh all my life at this call. And what, young man, do you want to? Laugh at? Look down, young man, you almost trampled me. Have pity on poor Hutto. I still have to raise my grandchildren. If I could briefly describe my feelings at that moment, then I could probably be called numb. Jewish wallet? And the eyes are so sewn on. Trustingly naive, it's just the manner of conversation that gives it away. Although yes, few people in this world know about it, it could have been a good ride. Maybe. Why did you call old Hutto? I'll tell you straight away that I don't give loans. What kind of loan do you owe me? You're welcome, I don't need someone else's, but are you sure that you need this money now, young man? Biju, you, right now. Roll a ball at my house. I'm not going to live on instant ramen just because you don't want to give me my money. As I already said, you're always welcome, Hutto doesn't need someone else's. So how much should I give you, young man? RRRR. That's it. I'm not going to argue with you every time I need money. Take it, you see, Hutto won't take someone else's. RRRR. Kai. Wow. Looks like I got rid of it. What exactly happened, and my reaction was also somewhat excessive. I could blame everything on the fox, hey Kurama, are you there, but these were clearly my emotions. Okay, I'll figure it out later, but for now it's time to go shopping. A little while later. So, I went shopping, cleaned the house, I don't need to go to the academy today, there are no orders in Ichiraku today, what else could I do? Exactly. Let me go to the academic training ground, it is always open. And why is it usually so empty on weekends? It's clear with clan members. They have their own training grounds, but why don't those without clans train? Or do they not understand that relatively soon their lives will depend on the degree of preparation? Sometime later. Yes, good job. And the notices about +2 to strength, 1 to dexterity and 4 to vitality are clear proof of this. But no matter how long you delay this moment, it will still come. The moment I probably hate more is just my birthday. Day to receive money for being an orphan. Now I'll get ready and go to the Hokage's residence. On the ground floor they keep a beast worse than Jubi. Bureaucracy. BR, and then once again I'll go to the Hill of Memory to look for the names of my parents on the monument. Only this time I will know what to look for. Still, knowing your history in advance is sometimes also useful. Hokage Tower. Sarutobi Hiruzen. When they told me that Naruto came today for money, I immediately understood. He will be there again. At such moments I almost feel sorry for him, but nothing can be done. Politics has always required sacrifices. If I had given him to someone else's clan to be raised, my position would have been shaken too much. It's a pity that at that time I couldn't even mention the protectorate over the vessel of the Kyubi, the Sarutobi clan, unlike the same Inudkuzuki or in general, Kami forbid, the Uchihas. You see, Minato was my close friend. And since Jiraiya-san disappears on yet another long-range raid mission, Fugaku. Pathetic hypocrite. Saying that. As if no one saw a trace of the Sharingan in Kyubi's eyes that night. And as if you weren't the one who sent your eldest son to the ANBU to keep watch for you. Well, it's okay, soon everything will be over, soon we will squeeze your arrogant clan, as we did the Senju in our time. It's a pity that the clan is considered extinct, but giving up the reins of power would be much worse. To be great, Konoha must be monolithic. As one. But this cannot be achieved while the power of scattered clans is strong. This means that the bet must be placed on the clanless, and even though they are mostly meat, there are many of them and they are easy to manage. Well, if everyone else recognizes themselves as vassals, some worthy clan, for example, Sarutobi, would also be nice. Dreams. In any case, we need to go see the Jinchuriki. I have recently been informed of sudden changes in his behavior and character. Analysts believe that Danzo was too clever with the bookmarks at one time, and if the vessel learned something about his past. This could conflict with the underlying model of behavior. You can't just leave something like this. The clan council will not tolerate an inadequate Jinchuriki. Need to check. And if this turns out to be true, we will have to somehow get out. It is dangerous to place new bookmarks, there are no candidates for a new vessel, and Konoha has only 2 Fuin masters capable of the Shinigami seal technique. Me and Jiraiya-kun, who most likely will not agree to actually kill his own godson. Even if I ask him. If it turns out that Naruto has found out about his past, he will have to somehow convince him of the need for such a step. The clans will not allow me to keep him in secret ANBU complexes waiting for a new Jinchuriki candidate to appear. In addition, it will be possible to place all the blame on them, to say how they could not share the village's weapons and how I, reluctantly, had to make compromise decisions because of them. Without giving him upbringing even to his godfather. Yes, this is what you need. Hill of Memory. Naruto. Here it is, the Monument of Memory. So where are they? But I found them. Well, hello finally, Dad, Mom. So. Do not cry. You are a man. Future shinobi. Pull yourself together in the end. That's it, yes, it's better. I stare at these names, Namikaze Minato, Namikaze Uzumaki Kushina. And I am overcome by an ambivalent feeling. On the one hand, My parents remained there in that world, and these are just characters from a stupid manga that I managed to get into. On the other hand, these are very important names for me, whose dear parents I never knew. Manga does not count. Again, I notice a strange feeling in the periphery of my vision and am already instinctively preparing for the next dirty trick from my personal crazy. Attention! The task available to you is, in the footsteps of memories. Now you know who your parents are, but you still don't know what they looked like. Find photos of your parents. Reward, experience plus 50. All stats plus 1. The quest chains will open, me. Uzumaki. And, blood of the father. Penalty for failure/refusal, quest chains, me. Uzumaki. And, blood of the father, will be blocked. Accept task. Yes/no. D. System, you are not a polite ulcer, you are a shameless sadist. Well, you can't do that, according to the saint. These are my parents. I really want to know what they looked like in real life, but just for the sake of the quest. And no. I still won't refuse the task, but mark my words. Someday I will remind you of this. A voice interrupted me from further indignation. Hello Naruto. You came here again. Are you still hoping to find your parents' names here? Since at that time I was somewhat inadequate, I answered purely automatically. Already, and only when I turned around and saw the slightly stunned face of the Hokage, I realized what a mess I had just gotten myself into. Before I even had time to say anything, Hiruzen folded his hands in a prayer gesture, and his palms blurred, performing some kind of seals at an incredible speed. Oh ho ho, so. Now no one will overhear us. Tell me, how did you know? About. This look was a fraction of that kind grandfather who gave me my first orange suit once upon a time. But after just a moment, the kind and understanding Hokage stood before me again. And nothing reminded me of that look that literally froze me through and through. Okay, sorry. You just have to understand that they hid the truth from you for a reason. So did you recognize Naruto? My thoughts were feverishly racing, along with my gaze wandering around the memory monument. I turned back to it again, afraid that my face would give me away, trying to find a way out of this situation. After all, I will need to somehow justify my knowledge, otherwise everything will happen. Amba. If I find a story plausible enough, I might not be dragged to the Yamanakas or Danzo. But otherwise. Then my gaze focused on my mother's name, and as if someone had flipped a switch, an insight came to me. So let's look again for something to be sure. There is. Thank you, Mom. You help me even from the other world. In fact, everything is not so difficult. Since the time of Mito-sama, there has only been one Uzumaki living in the village. This can be easily verified by simply reading the names on the memorial monument. Only. Squelch, only. Sniff, why does everyone in the village hate me? Called demon spawn. Or little demon. We were told in history lessons how, Sniff, the devil's Hokage, Squelch, Squish, together with his, Sniff, wife sealed the Kyuubi at the cost of their lives. Do they hate me because I am the Kyuubi? Yes? Was it me who was sealed by Namikaze Minato-sama? Yes? Am I to blame for their deaths? Forgive me, Mom, Dad, but now this is the only way to survive, probably. Well, what are you, Naruto? Calm down, it's not like that at all. You are not the reincarnation of the Nine Tails. You just say so. But in fact, you hate me too. I interrupt him without letting him finish. But am I an inadequate child who learned a shocking truth about himself or went out for a walk? Oh, Cammy. What can a lack of information coupled with a child's imagination lead to? So. Come on, stop crying. You are a future ninja and a man after all. Here. Right. Calm down, the Hokage scratched his hat while stroking the crying me. This is a difficult conversation. And not for prying ears, although I put up a barrier, but Kami protects the wary. So come with me to the Hokage Tower and talk in detail, you have a lot to learn. Already in front of me walking, led by the hand of the Hokage, a familiar scroll appeared and stunned me with a hail of messages. Congratulations. You found yourself in a deadly situation, but thanks to your ingenuity and acting skills, you literally got away with it. Achievement received. On the kunai blade, Category 2. Jump into the abyss? Easily. Spy on Tsunade in the baths? No problem. You love extreme sports. But be careful that one day this does not lead you to death. Luck, +5, luck, M plus 0.3, chance of getting into trouble plus 10%, chance of cutting yourself on a kunai plus 10%. Achievement received. Artist. 1 category. Today your star lit up. The audience applauds. Continue to polish your talent. But remember, the adoration of the crowd is short-lived. Perception, M plus 0.1, will, M plus 0.1, fame, plus 5, chance that they will believe you plus 5%, chance that you will have fans, plus 5%, chance of getting into the bingo book, plus 5%. Achievement received. Intrigue, 1st category. You are like a spider, sitting in the center of the web and pulling the strings of other people's souls. Well, enjoy your power. But sooner or later, every thread will break. Thinking, plus 5, thinking, M plus 0.2, chance that you will be believed plus 5%, chance that you will be betrayed plus 10%. Your stats have increased. Perception, plus 2. Thinking, plus 3. Will, plus 4. Luck, plus 4. Attention. In less than a month, you have raised the value of the luck stat by 20 points. The achievement loser, 3 categories, changes to loser, 2 categories. You are unlucky neither in your past life, nor in this life, and even in the absolute void, you hear laughter at yourself. Luck, minus 20, luck, M minus 0.3, the chance that you will be mistaken for a clown is plus 10%. In the next morning. Naruto's apartment, in the orphan dormitory. The ringing of the alarm clock made me slowly open my eyes and look at the so familiar ceiling. I didn't want to get up, and my thoughts flowed in a deceptively sluggish but unstoppable stream. We talked with the Hokage, or rather, his clone. He screwed up almost immediately, Delis, yesterday until late at night. He told me a lot. And that I am a Jinchuriki, and not the reincarnation of the Kyuubi. And actually, who are Jinchuriki, and what do they eat with? And about my parents. Then I brazenly stopped him and demanded that he give me at least some photograph of them together, otherwise it's a shame. I'm almost an adult, and I still don't know what they looked like. To my surprise, this was found in his desk drawer. And about their sacrifice for the sake of the village, at that moment a message popped up about completing the quest, in the footsteps of memories, and opening the quest chains, Uzumaki, and blood of the father. And about the smug clans who could not divide me, forcing him reluctantly to make a difficult decision that suited everyone. Except himself of course, but what could he do? Don't start a quiet war between the clans for influence in Konohagakure. After all, that's why he's Hokage, to make sometimes difficult decisions. And what about the fact that I am a Jinchuriki only the heads of the clans, and their proxies within the clans, and Tokubetsu Jonins and above are aware of, and ordinary townspeople just seeing the attitude of some towards me. Here he cleared his throat, apparently did not want to swear in front of the child. In general, some people simply take out their grief on me. Well, maybe at first it was like that, but now some of the inhabitants of Konoha naturally consider me the incarnation of Kurama. I didn't just pull words out of thin air for the scene of a child's hysteria. And much more. He spoke very convincingly and as if he were talking to an adult, well, yes, I know that tone, you're a grown boy, almost a man, and you'll understand everything, but part of me has long grown out of such a tender and trusting age. And that world, despite the local attitude towards murder, torture and all kinds of violence in general, is much more cynical and vicious. And the knowledge of the canon somehow did not always fit into his words. So I calmly pretended to be a not very trusting but little experienced boy and allowed myself to be convinced. About system. Thank you for plus 10% to the gullibility of others from achievements. The fact that there was a shadow clone standing in front of me also played into my hands. A conversation with the real Hiruzen and his clone was enough for me to understand the simple truth. The clone is much stupid, no, not stupider, but how to formulate it. It has no soul. Real intelligence. It is clear that he operates within the framework. Like a computer, it can be as powerful as it wants and imitate intelligence, but it's still not the same. I don't know if other shinobi notice the difference, but to me it's obvious. But okay, I've been thinking too much again, it's time to get up, otherwise I'll run back to the academy hungry again. I shouldn't have bought groceries. So we washed ourselves, now to the kitchen. Nothing complicated, just the usual bachelors, not students, since I still added tomatoes with onion rings, scrambled eggs and tea. While I was eating, the usual message, back to school, popped up. Well, half an hour is actually a waste of time. So I calmly wash the dishes, get dressed and go out. Oh, no. I'm not going out, I almost forgot the most important thing. I take a photograph of my parents from the table, placed in a special case, or a closing metal frame, something like a cigarette case, and put it in the inside breast pocket. No, I understand that this is stupid, but from the photograph of a happy Ma holding her father's head in her hands, and Pa himself with a moronic smile, and this turns out to be a family thing, putting this very head to his mother's already noticeably protruding belly. Yeah, from this photo a smile creeps onto my face, I look in the mirror and chuckle. Really family friendly. So. There are already 5 minutes left. Let's run. Naruto Uzumaki is ready for work and defense. 3 months later. Shinobi Academy. Audience 207. And again I'm sitting in Kamchatka at a history lesson, or, as I myself call it, political history, and thinking. Only this time I'm not alone. Shikamaru was lounging next to me. He quickly realized that clanless people don't sit next to me. And the point for observing the class is simply gorgeous. I only recognized him for the first time thanks to his pineapple hairstyle and jacket with a stop sign. The anime character does not convey the image at all. You can start with green eyes, as they would say in the past world, witch eyes, sharp, somewhat similar to a bird of prey. Faces and ending with seemingly ragged facial expressions and movements. It is true that he loves to sleep, but when he is awake, it feels like his body simply cannot keep up with his mind. Even at the risk of running into a conflict, I decided to say hello. What if I misspoke? In general, Shika turned out to be a good guy who was sick of everything, and he's always problem. A month after he moved in with me, I was able to persuade him to become my observation teacher. Of course, he was surprised at the request but agreed. But then I was surprised by the message. Attention! Shikamaru Nara wants to teach you the skill of observation. Explore. Yes/no. I was already thinking that I would really have to study. As you might guess, I immediately agreed. The skill turned out to be levelless and dependent only on my perception. This helped a lot, because around the same time I decided to talk to the Hokage again. After all, chains of quests for my father and mother hung on me. According to the quest, me, Uzumaki, I had to regain the clan territories located in Konoha. Fortunately, although they were plundered, they were never occupied, which turned out to be surprisingly easy. According to Hiruzen, I can't add the prefix, sama, to it in my thoughts. He did too much to me. he was going to return the Uzumaki clan quarter to me as soon as I became an adult, at 16 or becoming a chunin, but since I insist. Here his gaze narrowed, only then I will restore it myself. Remembering that according to the canon, the old man most likely will not live to see my chuninship, and the next Hokage will most likely not have time for me. And that, according to the same canon, I lived in the hostel until my wedding. In general, the question was not even raised, getting this quarter later will be much harder. The very first task from Blood of the Father required finding out his date of birth and the origin of the Namikaze clan. It existed by default, but was little known about. I still remember how I got myself a pass to the Shinobi Library. And the fact that it is usually available only to chunin and above didn't bother me. I'm a small child, remember, but I still achieved my goal. They gave me a week's admission to the repository of shinobi knowledge, of course not to the closed sections. This is where the skill of observation showed itself in all its glory. I couldn't have done it without him, but this way I was able to find not only father's birth certificate, and find out that the Namikaze clan was, during the Second War, the clan was completely exterminated, a small, free ninja clan, in the Land of Wind specializing in genjutsu. Judging by the information read through observation from some scroll on rare extinct clans, it came to the point that they, albeit unconsciously and slightly, influenced the consciousness of other people, and without any chakra at all. What made them masters of genjutsu comparable to clans like the same Uchiha or Yuha, remember Kurenai, then still the great clan. But also closed the quest completely, finding out that my father was a half-breed of the Yuhi clan. My grandfather on my father's side was forced to leave the country of fire because of the beginning of a new shinobi world war. He is from the country of wind, without knowing that his bride, they never managed to formalize the relationship, was pregnant. My grandmother, Yuhi Renj, was expelled for refusing to marry in the interests of the clan, and later learning that she was pregnant, she generally took the groom's surname. She died during childbirth. My pedigree-related features have also changed. Now they look like this. Uzumaki, Category 2. You are a half-breed of an ancient clan, carrying its genes. You are Uzumaki. HP X3, Vitality, M, plus 0.5. Namikaze, Max. You are the heir and last representative of the clan, whose genes have only been strengthened by the influx of blood from Uzumaki and Yuhi. Chance to induce unreasonable trust plus 10%, chance to convince your opponent if you are insincere plus 15%, insecure plus 20%, sincere plus 30%, perception, M plus 0.2. It's a pity that I will complete the next quest, Uzumaki. I won't succeed soon, because for this I need to visit Whirlpool Island. And after all these, everything gradually returned to normal. And it feels like nothing has changed. Yes, I now officially own the quarter of the Uzumaki clan, but it's impossible to live in these ruins. One repair will cost me several million ryo. This is for the entire quarter. Yes, I am now officially recognized as the son of the fourth Hokage, but I still can't talk about it. Those without clans simply won't believe me, but those with clans, those who are interested already know. Yes, I am the heir and nominal head of 2 clans at once. Only from both clans there is almost nothing or even nothing left. Yes, the attitude of the townspeople towards me is not so wild now, but they still look at me sideways, albeit less often. How problematic. Hey Naruto, I'm certainly glad that you share my passion for naps, but we're about to start a taijutsu lesson. Let's go to the training ground, otherwise we'll be late. Oh, how stressful it all is. Yes, thank you Shika. Let's go, otherwise we'll be really late. At the Shinobi Academy training ground. Guys, today we will check how you have mastered the rules of throwing shurikens and kunai. Now I will give you 5 shurikens and 5 kunai. By the way, they will remain with you, and you will take turns throwing them at those makiwaras. Well, let's begin. Hietsugo Hatoko. While the sensei was calling the children, I read the message that popped up. Attention! The task to the bullseye is available. Hit the makiwara all 10 times. Reward, experience plus 45. Agility, plus 1. Relationship with non-clan students plus 2. Penalty, no. Wow. It's been a long time since I've had the opportunity to raise my reputation with my students, and without a penalty for failure. Only with my dexterity I'm not sure that I can hit it all 10 times. It's decided. I still couldn't decide where to spend my free stat points. I'll transfer 6 to agility, and the remaining 4 to luck. Finally I'll get out of the minus. So now let's see what happened. Name, Naruto Uzumaki. Level, 3, 317/350. Vitality Force, VA 870/870. Spiritual Force, DS 190/190. Chakra, blocked up to LV 10. Vitality, 29, MR 1.9. Strength, 16, MR 1.0. Dexterity, 19, MR 1.0. Perception, 15, MR 1.3. Thinking, 20, MR 1.2. Will, 19, MR 1.8. Luck, 0, MR 1.2. Free stat points, 0. Money, 19,450 Rio. Skills and abilities. Summon Chakra Wallet, LV Max. Chakra costs, 0. Activators, Seal, Mani Mani, Daken no Jutsu, Summon Wallet. Remember that the size of your chakra wallet depends on the amount of money you have at the time of the call. Observation, LV Max. Basic stat. Perception. Disguise, LV, for MR 1.3. Basic char perception. Fox step, LV, 3 MR 1.0. Basic char. Agility. Saboteur, LV, 2 MR 1.2. Main stat. Thinking. Taijutsu, LV, 3 MR 1.0. Basic char strength. Throwing blades, LV, 2 MR 1.0. Basic stat. Agility. Knife fighting, LV, 2 MR 1.0. Basic stat. Dexterity. So. Not bad already. Uzumaki Naruto. So they call me, well, it's time to go on stage. I go to the table where the inventory is and select 5 shurikens and kunai. The skill of observation immediately highlights them. Crappy training kunai. This kunai is made from crappy iron by a lazy smith's apprentice. Damage minus 20%, accuracy minus 15%. Is there really nothing else? But there isn't. A good training kunai. This kunai is made from ordinary iron, by a diligent apprentice blacksmith with all the diligence. Accuracy plus 10%. Now this is much better. Now the main thing is to find 4 more of the same, and 5 more shurikens. Hey Naruto, why are you digging around there? It looks like you're going on a mission. I don't pay attention to him and continue to choose further. As a result, I ended up with 3 good quality kunai and 2 shuriken, 1 regular kunai. Everything else is generally of good quality with plus 15% to accuracy. And having collected my kit, I turn to Mikage Chinatsu, that's the sensei's name, and say quite seriously. Sensei, but you yourself said that these blades, from the author, this is my author's arbitrariness. Shurikens, senbons, kunai and all other piercing and cutting throwing weapons, in general they are simply called blades, will remain with us, so it is quite likely that it is with these blades that I will go on my missions in the future. Cough. Ahem. There's nothing even to object to. Well, since you have already chosen anyway, I ask you to .e. So here are the makiwaras. In principle, it is not very difficult to hit a stationary target one at a time at such a distance. Kami, but sometime later we all, I'm talking about our graduation, will calmly throw 10 blades at once and at a much greater distance. The main thing is to shoot first, so I slowly throw one good kunai and one good shuriken. They have the best chance of getting there. Why are you so careful, Naruto? Be brave. Heh. Still won't calm down. He's also smiling, grr. Are you bolder? Okay. Moreover, I had already shot anyway. I release kunai one after another, without stopping, the normal one is the last one, and then I threw all the shurikens at once. Hurry up. But no, it was all gone. I look at the guys with slight superiority. Relationships with students +1. Dexterity +1. Luck +1. Blade throwing +1. Congratulations. Task, to the bullseye, done. Congratulations. You have reached a new level. Then I look up at Mikage-san, but in his eyes, there. Only the satisfaction of an employee who has completed his job is good. Well done, Naruto. You did well. Next. Higaya Kaneko. What? Is it like they just provoked me? So easy and relaxed? Here's another tap on your nose, you shouldn't consider yourself smarter than everyone else. I look at the guys again. In the first year of study we were not divided into streams, this is done in the second. It seemed like no one understood, but there was Shika, leaning against a tree and pretending to be asleep, smiling at something. Now, for sure, it will somehow unobtrusively remind me of this. Throughout the next lesson, I tried not to look at Shiki's face, who successfully imitated the Mona Lisa as soon as he looked at me. Kami, how infuriating his smile is. Even more infuriating is the fact that she was acquitted. Grr. That's probably why I missed the sensei's words about conducting the test. But having received a sheet with tasks, he quickly calmed down. Ordinary problems on geometry or mathematics, presented in ninja style. For someone who has already received an education, even in a past life, nothing is complicated. I look at my course with a malicious smile. And I notice that only half of the class confidently writes the test, and mostly those without clans. Clan children, with a few particularly smart ones, well, at least that's the impression I got about them during my studies, on the contrary, look thoughtful or even slightly panicky. What the? Come on, they won't write tests with a trick for 5-year-olds? I'm taking a closer look at one of the panicking boys. What's his name? Mikado Karosum, I think. Yes, that's right, panic indeed. I don't understand what could be so scary about this test. I turn my head towards Shikamaru, and notice that before he started writing a suspiciously long answer, he was thinking. No, maybe 5-year-old Nara, but think about easy math problems? This despite the fact that he already thinks he's better than one accountant I know in that world. So there is clearly some kind of catch with the test, you need to read the tasks more carefully. After rereading simple mathematical problems a couple of times, I finally realized what was scratching me at the edge of my consciousness. This test is not about mathematics at all. Take the 5th task, an enemy shinobi carrying a scroll with information moves from point A to point B. It would have taken him 2 hours and 15 minutes to get there in a straight line, but since an attack was extremely likely, he changed his route. It is known that it will go to point C in a straight line. How many minutes earlier than the enemy shinobi do you need to leave point D, with the mission of intercepting a scroll with information, if it is known that you are running at the same speed? The distance from point A to point C is 1/3 shorter than from A to B. The distance from point C to point B is 2/3 longer than from A to C and is equal to the distance from D to C. Justify your answer. And it seems that the answer is obvious, within an hour. Just 2 weeks ago, we were told about the rules for constructing traps and setting up ambushes, including examples of time costs. So you can safely add another half hour, and if you remember that ambushes are usually set up 3 to 4 hours in advance, since the target can still arrive earlier, and during this time you will not lose concentration. And this is only what we were exactly told about. And it's still far from a fact that I remembered everything. In general, the answer, as well as its rationale, can change dramatically. And this is a test for children, Looking at the piece of paper, I'm starting to think that the questions at the Chunin Shinken in the canon future are not so impossible, but something like these, only a degree higher. If in the end it turns out that it was just my paranoia playing out, I'll laugh for a long time. Well, I got distracted again, and considering that the time for the exam is limited, this is not good. The young genius Nara, who has already finished writing his exam, is quietly snoring. How jealous I am. I've only decided half of it so far, maybe I'll try to copy it from him. Before this thought had time to take shape in my head, Shika, who had not woken up, turned over the piece of dough. Grr. Okay, get it together Naruto, you have at least half of a relatively adult personality. In the end, it's simply a shame to lose to some youngster, even if he's at least 3 times a genius. All you need to do here is solve a mathematical or geometric problem, and then figure out where there might be a catch and, remembering what other sensei told us, figure out how the result will change and justify the whole thing competently. It's so nice to stretch and relax like this. This test is finally over, our first written test at the academy. Now, looking at this situation from the outside, for some reason it seems to me that I was too clever. Well, they can't do this, comprehensively check 5-year plans. And this means that I most likely failed it. Perhaps it was not worth sliding into completely dark paranoia and raping your brain, looking for pitfalls where there are none. Well, okay, I'll find out about it in the next lesson. They promised to tell us the result anyway, but now I have a lunch break. With a sweet yawn, I stretch until my bones crunch and take out my bento. Well, yes, I make my own bento, I'm a bachelor. If I don't take care of myself, I'll remain hungry. And just as I was pointing my chopsticks at a piece of some cheap fish, I don't understand it, but as they said in one advertisement, if you don't see the difference, why pay more? I was brazenly interrupted. Ano? Naruto-san? Naruto-san? This is something new. I raise my eyes and look at that panicking boy from the smart clanless ones. What about him? I forget all the time. Well, hello, Karo-san-kun. Why did you come to the great and terrible me? From the left I can hear Shiki's grunt, showing what he thinks about the degree of my horror. This. I saw you training at the training ground after school. I mean, you won't think anything like that, but I really need your help. He became more frequent towards the end. I raise one eyebrow questioningly. The fact is that before the test, Sensei confiscated my training smoke seals. Where did the first-year student get them from? My older brother gave them to me, ooh. And the problem is that these are not just smoke seals, these are all the seals left over from Konoha's Purple Day. What? I thought that they were all confiscated and burned out of harm's way. Yes, if Inazuki or Aburame only find out about their existence, the guy will be finished. Apparently my face was quite eloquent, so the boy began to frequent with renewed vigor. And Shikamaru suddenly woke up. Therefore, please help me replace them with regular smoke seals before they are checked. This. I don't even have words, although no, I really do. I have nothing to do with it, it's your fault. But you constantly train, including in disguise. I know you can help me. And with your reputation, you don't care. If you agree, you will get punched in the face. Please, you are my last hope. Go to. I'll give away half the seals. No, he'll definitely get it in the face right now. I mean, substitute yourself for him, and he. All seals. And we guarantee that teachers will not guess exactly what seals were there about. But our genius gave his voice, that's why he agreed for me. I look intently into his eyes, and after his barely noticeable nod, the whole situation begins to dawn on me. Well, he didn't promise to replace the seals, heh. No, he's not Nara, he's Aburame, he's a bug, he just promised that the sensei wouldn't find out which seals were confiscated. And like most clan children, despite their 5 LV, his chakra is already unlocked. He'll be able to find a use for them. Heh. Oh. And this lover of raking in the heat with someone else's hands, hung up a little. Apparently persuading, although in my opinion, rather insulting, I completely forgot about Sheik. So what do you decide to do? But, what about? Oh well, all the seals are all the seals. Deal. Deal. Now give me regular smoke seals here. Attention. You have been offered a new task, Punishment for Liars, Part 1. Steal special educational seals from the safe in the teacher's room, so that they don't think about you. Reward, experience plus 35. Relationship with Nara Shikamaru plus 5. Educational print x10. Special educational seal x10. Penalty, relationship with teachers minus 10. Relationship with Nara Shikamaru minus 5. Variable. Well, apparently I'm not destined to have a quiet lunch. Shika and I go to the staff room instead. As I understand it, he is going to somehow distract the teachers and at the same time set up I always forget his name, well, it doesn't matter anymore. And I need to get to the safe unnoticed and just steal the seals. Well, no one closes the safe during the day, even after that day. Here is the door to the teacher's room. Papa. What people? Apparently, plans are changing. Before Nara had time to say anything, I pulled it back slightly and, at a questioning glance, nodded at the only teacher in the room. The frowning eyebrows on the predatory face immediately smooth out. I understood, well, I didn't expect anything else from him. Did you want something, children? So face the family brick, yeah, that smiling one, more air in the lungs, and... Irika-sensei. I was just looking for you. He shudders and quickly examines the room for emergency escape routes. Remember you promised me. And having come to some conclusions for himself, he blurs into the air and appears outside the window. Well, it's in vain, it's the first floor. With a cry of Irika-sensei, I follow him. Shikamaru will take care of the seals. That's the end of the last lesson. At the exit from the academy, Nara stopped me and calmly slobbered 20 seals on me. But I didn't even have time to walk hundreds of steps before this guy blocked my way. What about him? And I remembered, Mikado Karosum here. Together with an older guy, apparently this is his brother, and demanded his seals back. Isn't that arrogance? The Phantom Scroll agreed with me. Attention! The task, Punishment for Liars Part 2, is available to you. Beat the liar who does not know how to keep his word. Reward, experience plus 35. Vitality, plus 1. Strength, plus 1. Access to the mission, Save the Princess. Penalty, you will be beaten. Your stamps will be taken away. Your money will be taken away. Mikado Osher will extort money from you at the academy until the end of the school year. Okay, quickly while they're still ranting. I roll to the right and forward, finding myself behind Mikado. I push off with all my might with my legs, straightening up and putting my elbow into his liver. Now a quick 180-degree turn, tripping Mikado, and throwing a sword fist into his brother's jaw. So Mikado fell and was holding on to his side. It's good that he's not a fighter for a while, but Osher avoids a blow to the side and now it almost hit me in the jaw. Well, they don't teach this here, so it might work. I wait until he hits me again and, having endured the pain in my cheekbone, I grab his hand and throw him over me with a standard judo move. The fight is over. Strength +1. Taijutsu +1. Not bad. Apparently the surprise factor played in my favor, and also the fact that, unlike these guys, I often hang out at the academic training ground in the evenings. And now you can go to Ichiraku Ramen. Celebrate the victory. Ichiraku Ramen. 3 servings of mega ramen with shrimp and 2 servings of garlic dumplings later. Ugh. I pat myself on my slightly swollen belly with satisfaction. Tucci-san is great as always. I wonder how advanced his cooking skill is, if of course he has one. It's just that I switched from quickly brewed ramen to home-cooked food quite a long time ago, but I never learned the skill. I don't care. I guess I just can't do it. It's a pity though, I would have learned from Tucci-san. So okay, we celebrated the victory, now it's worth taking a closer look at the trophies. What kind of Save the Princess is that? Attention! The task Save the Princess is available to you. Help Heim of the Great Hugo clan get rid of the hooligans. Reward, experience +50. Increase in all characteristics, +1. Relationship with Hugo Hinata +70. Failure, relationship with Hugo Hinata +25. Failure, achievement, heartless freak. Accept task. Yes/no. Blah. You're kidding me, what kind of heartless freak is this? Although no, I don't even want to know. Of course, I agree to the task. Moreover, even if I fail the task, I will still remain in the black. To start the task, arrive at the playground in the park, behind the Shinobi Academy in 4 hours 35 minutes and 58 seconds. 57. 56. I remembered. It seems like there was something like that in canon. Well, let's look at this Hugo Hinata, otherwise, to be honest, I didn't pay much attention to my classmates. Well, with the exception of Ino Shikacho, Shikamaru sits next to me, so I know these 3 quite well, and the guys who really stood out. As I understand it, the information in the manga in honor of the Great Me does not always accurately reflect the person. The Nara example was very illustrative. Therefore, I try not to rush things and not look for key characters. I don't want to spoil the surprise for myself. So, if my memory serves me correctly, it seems like her cousin's classmates should be attracted to her, or maybe not, I don't remember. This means that my opponents will be several older guys. No, of course I'm great and recently I easily defeated 2 people, but the surprise factor helped me there. It's a pity I can't use chakra yet. Well, tell me, why? After all clan children get access to chakra from level 5. I'm like the heir of 2 entire clans, what an injustice. Seals would help me a lot. But no fate. Although, I actually like smoke seals, if I remember how to make a smoke bomb. I know where to get potassium permanganate, you can also get sulfur there, you can ask some blacksmith for shavings and coal. Yes, there are blacksmiths in Konoha. To be honest, I always found it strange that shinobi do not use chemical mixtures and rely more and more on ninjutsu and fuin seals. As a last resort, organic components are used, in medicine or poisons, but certified killers are at odds with chemistry. So I think I have at least one trump card. After all, the opportunity to throw a bomb that won't cause chakra damage will never be superfluous. So I decided on the plan. It's time to go shopping. 4.5 hours later. Near the playground behind the Shinobi Academy. It was hard to have time to buy everything you needed and even a little more, and then rivet your masterpieces. No, why, you can't praise yourself. Besides, I even got an alchemist in the process. In addition to making my bad smoke bombs of the alchemist's apprentice, although the last two did not have the prefix bad, as the system floridly called them. I also bought bracers in the form of a shield, bijou. What a waste of money. The bracers alone cost me 2,500 Rio, and then using glue and sulfur I created stripes on them, like on matchboxes in a previous life. And the fuses themselves on the bombs were made like firecrackers. There seems to be no such thing in this world, they either disdain or don't know. Well, it doesn't matter, I'm better. In general, I was so carried away by the act of creation that if it had not been for the prudently set alarm clock, I would have been late. And then, a few minutes before the end of the timer, I heard voices from the park, although to me, more like a mini-forest. Oh. Give it back, please. Look, Aniki, and these Hugos, it turns out, know how to be polite, huh? What's so important that she's about to cry? Hiking diary, Aniki. Get away from her. What, do you think that if you are older, then everything is possible? Ino's voice? What did she forget here? They didn't ask you Goldilocks at all, get the weakling out of here. What about your little children? Natural GOP stop, even nostalgia took over. Hey, Aniki, look, this pop-eyed girl is about to burst into tears, gee. Give me your diary, please. We didn't do anything to you. Yes, you're all clan people, you're the one who's so modest right now. And she's just as snobby as your brother who's obsessed with horoscopes. What? Are you also going to talk about our fate and all that? So, let's read what's so interesting there. Dear Diary. Today. I burst into the clearing with a running start and, without wasting time, I jump feet first into the face of this Anika. I kept thinking about how best to plan the battle, but when this freak started reading someone else's diary. Honestly. I couldn't resist. And I got it right. Well, who's new? Ha! And I kept thinking, what does punishing liars and saving the princess have to do with it? Hey, Aniki. This is the freak who stole our seals. And this Aniki is a strong fellow, get kicked in the face and get up after that? Of course he's a freak, but I respect him. Are you sure, Osi? The bastard himself came. Today is clearly my day. Get him down. So, this is no longer good, somersault to the side. Where are my smoke blowers? Get a gopniak in the face. Oh you. There is a lot of smoke, it seems there should be much less. Could it be because the coal was made from chakra-conducting wood? Don't get distracted, Naruto. It hurts so much. Almost got shot down. Again somersault to the side and 2 more bombs at once. I can hardly see anything anymore. Aniki. This freak is using our seals. You bastard. Oh, and here comes Usi's fist. Still, you said, Bulkun. I grab his hands and pull him towards me into the smoke. I take a step to the left myself and trip him. Eat. His face meets the fist of the third guy. Well, I don't know what his name is, I don't know. Rolling between the legs of the sinking Owzie, I fall out of the smoke and hit that third one from bottom to top in the balls. That's it, 2-. That's it. From the kick, the main Gopnik, I fly off into the trees. Well, that's it. You are in trouble. What a bitch. Well done, Ino. Come on, creature. Grr. Hit the girl? Yes, I love you. I run to him, simply ignoring the D mark, it hurts so much, and with a mental cry, this is Sparta, I hit him on the kneecap, then grabbing his left hand, with which he again punched me in the liver, and pulling it towards me, I again hit the kneecap from my foot. More and more. Like this. When this freak's leg finally gives way, I grab his head and send the guy's nose on a rendezvous with my knee. This is a tenacious freak. Even too much. Don't let Kami be a bastard Uzumaki, I'll die of shame. Well, since you are strong as an oak, then actually kiss a relative, and then again and again, and, that's all? Has he finally passed out? So what's up with Ino-chan? I approach and see Hinata finishing treating Yamanaka's cheekbone with some kind of ointment. He's a freak after all, not only does he hit the girl in the face. Grr. While I was trying to drill into the carcass of this Anika with my gaze, I didn't notice how Hugo came up to me with a jar and lifted her t-shirt in the liver area and began to smear her side. She didn't even react to the questioning arched eyebrow, intently rubbing the ointment into the bruises and abrasions. That's a bit bold for a shy girl, isn't it? So, why hasn't the task been counted yet? I look around the battlefield and come across a diary. I'm approaching. I take it in my hand. At that moment I heard a strangled squeak behind me, shake it off and return to Hinata. Take it. I hand it to her, and don't worry. If they pester you again, just tell me. I will protect you. I hear a snort from Ino-chan. I reach out my hand to pat the top of my head. But then for some reason she suddenly blushed, and it looks pretty cute, and then began to faint. Then the picture changes dramatically and for some reason I fly towards a tree. And the only thing I managed to hear before the darkness swallowed me was some man shouting, "Haim-sama. Kanahagakure Hospital number 2. Room number 105. I look at the ceiling and think. What kind of was this? As I understand it, the security guards of one of the princesses knocked me out. But where were they before? Did you smoke bamboo? They came, ready for everything. I had already saved everyone, and just blatantly knocked me out for no reason. Freaks. So let's see, did the quest even count? Where are my logs? Relationship with Yamanaka Ino +10. Vitality +3. Strength +1. Dexterity +1. Congratulations. The mission, Save the Princess, is completed. Congratulations. You have a fan. More details in the Fans tab. Congratulations. You have opened access to the hidden quest chain Me. Rock. Star. Quest Me. Rock. Star. Part 1 inch. Complete the top 10 list of fans. Reward, experience +50. Relationship with random faction +1. Random attribute +1. Access to the task Me. Rock. Star. Part 2 inch. So. What is this fangirl tab? Total fans, 1. Top 10 fans. Fan number 1, Hugo Hinata, quiet and shy stalker, very imaginative. What the is this? Okay, I'll figure it out later. Now the main thing is to sneak out of here before the doctors see. 2 days later. Near Kanahagakure Hospital number 2. Phew. Finally, freedom. No, I honestly tried to escape on the first day, fortunately because of gamer and the passive bonus for regeneration and treatment of injuries on the hospital grounds, I was already absolutely healthy. But the medical staff there is clearly knowledgeable in this regard. At first, I decided not to bother and just leave the hospital with a confident look. Arrogance is the second happiness, you don't know how to behave confidently, and so on. And I almost succeeded. Only right at the door I was identified by a nurse who was removing my bandages. Overall, just bad luck. Then I decided to use the window. Fortunately it was only the second floor, and the sheet was strong. And having already descended, and feeling the sweet smell of freedom, I turned away from the wall with a happy smile and met the also smiling Kuromi Mayu, the same nurse. But for some reason, her smile made me feel cold sweat and goosebumps run through my body. I still remember that moment. 1 minute I'm looking around in search of an escape route, one minute I'm trying to jump to the side, and the next moment they're already twisting my ear and taking the fingers on my right hand in some tricky, and terribly painful, grip and leading me back to the hospital. Where are the snakes of old man Orochimaru? Its movements can rather be compared to a bullet. And this despite the fact that she is not a shinobi. I mean, her chakra scale is blocked. Oh. This is what experience means. In general, that's how we played tag and. He knows how long I would have been kept there if not for the order from above to appear for an audience with the Hokage. And as I stomp towards the tower I think, what did he actually need? Strange as it may seem, they let me into the old man's office, from the author, G-san, right away. Sarutobi sat behind a mountain of waste paper and, as always, thoughtfully smoked his pipe. Seeing me, he moved his hand towards the chair opposite the table and became immersed in reading some, apparently, report. Is it like they're putting me under moral pressure like this? First, without any cue or paperwork, at the pace of a mad bumblebee, one might say, they are driven into the office of the local big boss, making you think that the matter is serious. And then this same boss brushes you off. I don't care about you, I'm busy with work. The bosses remain the same, no matter what world you live in. Well, let's wait, it's not difficult for me, and I'm trained. Fortunately, the Hokage did not escalate the situation for a long time and after about 20 minutes, his attention returned to me. Naruto-kun, tell me, you don't like the fact that someone from ANBU is looking after you? You remember what we talked about your importance to the village? Didn't understand? What is he doing now? I shake my head in bewilderment, indicating that I'm like, no, I don't mind. No, of course, at the very beginning I tried to track down my escort, but I quickly realized that a little boy calculating the surveillance of seasoned specialists was nonsense. And even though I have experience from a past life, but with the exception of conscription service, it is purely civilian, so I didn't bother with nonsense and just accepted it, and then suddenly there were such hints. No? Then, please explain to me why you ran away from the observer and what biju you were doing without supervision, that you were found beaten and with 3 broken ribs. Oh, no way, from the author, this is not a typo. When did I manage to do this? I remember how I got hit in the kidneys. For the liver, I remember. I also remember by my shameless face. But about the ribs. Was it really Hinata-chan's accompaniment that caressed me so much? Well, it's my own fault. I won't shield him, I don't care about breaking children's ribs. Yes, and my accompaniment is also good. These idiots, apparently, managed to lose me, and because of them I am now getting a beating. This is the thing. And when did I actually run away? No, of course I'm cool and generally the future Hokage. Well, yes, I couldn't resist, but hiding from elite spies and not noticing this is too much even for me. Cough. Ahem. Even so? Well, judging by Fukuro's report, from the author, Owl, then at first you rushed all over Konoha, harassing pharmacists and blacksmiths, and then headed home. As I told you before, there is no surveillance inside your apartment, that's where he lost you. It's like he didn't notice how I ran out the front exit from the hostel? Come on. Was this Owl there sleeping or did he even leave his post to drink some sake? So I gather my thoughts and retell my version of events. When asked why I terrorized the poor townspeople of Konohagakure, I honestly answered that I was making a smoke bomb, and in response to a raised eyebrow, I simply gave one of them away. Hiruzen, turning my masterpiece in his hands, simply lit it with a self-igniting finger and threw it out the window. Looking at the resulting smoke, he told me not to waste time on nonsense and that seals were much more reliable. Well, I don't argue, but to activate them you need chakra, and I'm still stuck with it. Then he told how he decided to test his crafts and ran to the park, then simply recounted everything that happened there and vindicatively handed over the escort to Haim. It's just Hiruzen's reaction that puzzled me. He thought about something, and then, as if remembering me, he said that he would sort everything out and for now I could be free. I understood the hint, and while our glorious leader was thinking about something, he quickly left. So, what should I do today? I'm already late for class today, and to be honest, I don't want to. Moreover, I did not receive the back-to-school quest. Maybe he'll run to Tucci-san, and what's this thought? I'll celebrate my release from behind the walls with a hit portion of ramen. And then you can ask him to help with the delivery, otherwise lately I've somehow abandoned this matter. It's decided. I will do so. Ramen, I'm coming to you. A few hours later. Today, for a change, I ordered gyoza dumplings and mushroom ramen. No, I still don't understand how does Tucci-san make everything so tasty? Sometimes I get the feeling that even his student scrambled eggs will be a culinary masterpiece. There is clearly some kind of secret here. Moreover, both he and his daughter have an open chakra scale. Maybe this is some kind of family hiden jutsu. And what about a shinobi chef? You can't find anything like that in this crazy world. So again I got distracted. I still have the last address left and the ramen delivery task will be completed. What I like about such quests is that in addition to experience, I receive money both from the system and from the owner Ichiraku. And turn-ups with townspeople increase by 1 point. So, what do we have with the last address, Mountain Flower Shop? Well, let's push it, otherwise it's already evening, and I still haven't experimented, in the sense of practicing alchemy. I'll have to remember to try boiling down the potassium nitrate. The only question is where to do it, otherwise I don't want to work with guano in my apartment. So here is the turn, and behind it is the store I need. Oh, well, Mountain Flower Shop, from the author, Yama Hanaya, I could have guessed it right away. So okay, just think about it, I'll stop by to visit Yamanaka. This doesn't mean that they will immediately get into my head. In addition, telepathy in my past world, or rather, as it is presented, and telepathy in this world are very different. The front door bell is ringing. Sorry for the intrusion. Hello. Delivery of Ichiraku ramen. Silence and raised eyebrows were my answer. Sorry, but what kind of delivery? We didn't order anything. Is it really a mistake? Don't worry Pa, it's for me. Hello Naruto-kun, where is my delivery? To be honest, I didn't expect you to work part-time at Ichiraku. By the way, thank you for standing up for me and Hina-chan back then. I'm glad that you've already checked out. That's a fox. She didn't expect it, so I believed it. And how did Biju find out that I was discharged today? She was at the academy at that time. So she takes the bowl of ramen from me and puts it aside, and then the circus begins. This big girl managed to take me around the entire store, introduce me to her father and mother, throw out a bait about me working part-time in their store. Well, that's not a bad idea, and you won't have to worry about what to make saltpeter from, ask me about my health and even flirt. That was cute. A little girl pretending to be an experienced heartbreaker cannot help but touch her. Then came the formal interrogation. Where do I live? And what were those smoke bombs? Did I make them myself? Why do I pretend to be an idiot in class? I'm a little stuck on this question. Well, I really can't explain to her, and there are many, many different whys. Honestly, what an unceremonious person. But somehow I couldn't get angry at her, I had to respond. The result of my visit to the Yamanaka clan shop was +20 reputation with Ino, a strange appraising look from Inoichi and a message about the appearance of a new fan. Already returning to Tucci-san. I remembered about the ramen that no one ate. And after that she will tell me that she didn't know that I would be the one bringing the delivery. Well, okay, let's see what's in the fans tab. Total fans, 2. Top 10 fans. Fan number 1, Hugo Hinata, a quiet and shy stalker, with a very rich imagination. Fan number 2, Yamanaka Ino, amorous, sociable and cheerful, mistress. The more I look at this tab, the scarier life becomes for me. Flower shop, Yamahani. Yamanaka family. And what was that, daughter? Just don't tell me that you just wanted ramen. Why did you bring the Jinchuriki here, and even offer him a part-time job? You cannot help but understand how the other clans will react to this information. Your Oka-san and I taught you too well for this. Don't worry, Pa. I remember very well what you told me about the non-intervention pact, but does it prohibit me from simply being friends with him? In theory, I shouldn't even know that he's a Jinchuriki. So claims from the clans can be easily avoided. Just childhood friendship and all that. The sigh of a man resigned to his fate was her answer. You better tell me, you noticed that the bookmarks Uncle Fu placed on him no longer work. If I remember correctly, at the very beginning of his studies he was somehow inadequate, his behavior constantly jumped from one extreme to another. It's like a conflict between bookmarks or bookmarks and personality, right? I just remember how you taught me that in such cases, setting new bookmarks is dangerously insanity. So, if you tell the Hokage that you have assigned your daughter to keep an eye on the state of mind of the Jinchuriki, I think he will not mind. Well, why do you need to get involved in all this, and daughter? You're still too young for this. I'm trying my best to isolate you from politics, but you yourself are getting into this bag of fertilizers. You just didn't see how he looked at those hooligans when one of them hit me. I was even scared for a moment, thinking that the Bijou's madness had taken over him. And how he then beat this idiot? We were definitely not taught this at the academy. And despite his rage, he controlled himself perfectly. Plus he's cute. Isn't it early? My daughter? What will Akemi say to this? Age is a disadvantage that goes away very quickly. Don't you know this? How old were you when you and Ma started dating? Oh ho ho. And why do I have a daughter and not a son? How simpler everything would be then. I love you too, Pa. From the author, I'm not sure about the following episode with Owl, so it's up to you readers to leave it or delete it. After reporting to Tucci-san and receiving my money, I headed home. About halfway there, a whirlwind of leaves rushed in front of me and an ANBU shinobi came out of the shunshin. Before I even had time to get scared, he grabbed me by the shoulder and used shunshin again. It's a strange feeling, I must say, as if you're being hit by an air wave, then a light pop is heard, the surrounding reality blurs, and now I'm already standing in the third's office. It is somewhat similar to a jump through hyperspace, as it is depicted in films and games, with the only difference that here such a trick is performed without any technical devices at all. After all, chakra is something. I have wondered more than once, is there anything that cannot be achieved with its help? Thank you, Taper. Well, you can be free. Hi. And my kidnapper disappeared again in a whirlwind of technology. Hello again, Naruto-kun. I invited you here to finally understand the incident that happened 2 days ago. The fact is that the information received from your escort and Haim Hyuga's security does not add up. Turn back and tell me which of these two ninjas attacked you at the end. Oh. It's interesting how the girls dance. What exactly doesn't add up in the observation reports? Okay, I won't rack my brains for now. I turn around and see two Hyugas who are looking in front of them with a truly soldier's gaze, just as glassy and impenetrable. So Naruto, pull yourself together and remember. Here I am about to pat Hinata-chan on her cute top of the head. Now she starts to faint, and then. No. I still didn't have time to see him, I only remembered the scream. What if? Hokage-sama. Can they now take turns shouting, Haim-sama? Otherwise then everything happened so quickly that I only remembered the voice. The Hokage instantly made some seals, after which, looking at everyone who was also imperturbable, the Hyuga demandedly said, "Well, why did you get up? Yell already." These two relatives looked at each other, after which, maintaining absolute equanimity, they took turns carrying out the order of their Kage. In response to Hiruzen's look, I simply pointed and said, "This one." I didn't expect it. This is how much it was necessary. "Well, Naruto-kun, I won't keep you any longer, you can go home." Having already disappeared behind the door, I heard. "And what will you tell me in your defense, Al-kun?" If Hayashi had not provided the report to Haim's escort, with their orders not to interfere unless there was a threat to life, I would never have known anything. You should have thought of attacking the target you were protecting, and then falsifying the report. Are you completely nuts? I didn't listen any further and quickly ran out of the tower. Well, no full. That's a good observation. With such security there is no need for enemies, they will kill you quickly. After all, life is not a manga, even mine. About 2 months later. Naruto's apartment, in the orphan dormitory. The very first rays of the sun, wandering through the open window of the apartment, wake me up, making me wince and cover my face with my hands. No, I won't fall asleep anymore. I glance at the alarm clock. Another half hour. We have to get up. I slap myself on the cheeks and turn off the morning terrorist. So now a light morning workout, watering the flowers on the windowsill, shower, kitchen, and now I'm sitting at the table and looking at the calendar, eating tempura with some kind of fish. Well, I don't understand them. Thoughts are like clouds. I got infected from Shikamaru, somehow imperceptibly, but at the same time, rapidly floating in the sky of my attention. And yet it came. This day. A day of celebration in honor of the imprisonment of Kyubi. The day I became an orphan. It's my birthday. My least favorite day. But we must hope for the best. After all, life is extremely fickle and loves to provide surprises. I never tire of seeing this again and again. Take the last 2 months for example. After that incident with Owl, I really became afraid to leave the house. I even missed several classes at the academy. What if they beat me up, and then write in the report that a brick fell on my head? Maybe the Hokage will be angry. No, he will definitely be furious. But it will be indifferent and tangential to me, in the grave. These were the thoughts that wandered through my head then, and then our great leader, Kami no Shinobi, showed up to one frightened orphan and literally forcibly dragged him out for a walk. We walked aimlessly along the streets of the village, ate ice cream, talked, and then on the way home I saw Owl, tch. I never found out his name. But he was somehow tired and twitchy, I would even say broken. Unnaturally pale skin, bruises under the eyes and the mark of a younger branch on the forehead. Considering the fact that it was not there before. Naturally, he felt my gaze, the elite after all. So we looked into each other's eyes until the old man coughed, attracting attention to himself. And then they bowed to me. They bowed so low. As a result, he stood there bent double until we left. Since then I haven't seen him again. And the very next day, leaving the apartment, I found an ANBU in a cat mask near my door. Since then, when leaving the apartment in the morning, I hear, "Hello. I am a cat, dog/bull/elephant/cheburashka, underline as appropriate, and I will be your accompaniment today." This is a form of politeness in the style of the faceless. It's good that, according to Kage-sama, when I become a genin, the surveillance will be removed. This will already be the responsibility of our mentor. And then life turned another page in the book of my destiny. Nothing out of the ordinary happened, on the contrary, gray everyday life began, as they like to call it. But I clearly felt the difference between before and after. Ino-chan finally persuaded me to start working part-time in their store. Oh, this blonde beast knows how to get her way and doesn't care that she's still a child. Yes, and Hinata-chan is also good. I still feel from time to time in class a glance directed at the back of my head. And this despite the fact that I am sitting on the last desk, that's it, the wall. Once, to make sure of my suspicions, as soon as I felt the gaze, I began to slowly, like a stripper, expose my torso. You should have seen how Sheik's eyes widened, although he pumped up the situation quickly. This cannot be taken away from him. Clap. And Princess Hugo, sitting on the first desk, faints, with a red face like a boiled lobster and a stupid smile. I also finally found a place where I can boil saltpeter without attracting attention. Fortunately, there were no more problems with raw materials, thanks to fertilizers from Yamahani. The solution to the problem turned out to be quite banal, a landfill. Yes, there is a landfill in Kanahagakure. And of course, all this time, I did not forget to swing, swing and swing again. So at the moment my specs look like this. Name, Naruto Uzumaki. Level, 4, 379/550. Vitality, 1230/1230. Spiritual force, 260/260. Chakra, blocked up to LV, 10. Vitality, 41, MR 1.9. Strength, 23, MR 1.0. Dexterity, 25, MR 1.0. Perception, 20, MR 1.3. Thinking, 24, MR 1.2. Will, 26, MR 1.8. Luck, 2, MR 1.2. Free stat points, 5. Money, 13,300 Rio. Skills and abilities. Summon Chakra Wallet, LV Max. Chakra costs, 0, activators, seal, Mani Mani, Daken no Jutsu, Summon Wallet. Remember that the size of your chakra wallet depends on the amount of money you have at the time of the call. Observation, LV Max. Passive ability. Main characteristics: perception. Disguise, LV, 5 MR 1.3. Basic char perception. Fox step, LV, 3 MR 1.0. Basic char agility. Saboteur, LV, 4 MR 1.2. Basic char thinking. Alchemist, LV 3 MR 1.2. Main char thinking. Taijutsu, LV 5 MR 1.0. Basic char strength. Throwing blades, LV 4 MR 1.0. Basic stat. Dexterity. Knife fighting, LV 4 MR 1.0. Basic stat. Dexterity. Herbalism, LV.2 WR 1.2. Basic char thinking. First aid, LV.1 MR 1.3. Basic char perception. Features and achievements. Part Gamer, Category 5. Life is a game, and you definitely have to win it. Game conventions apply to you, as if you were a character in a game. Uzumaki, Category 2. You are a half-breed of an ancient clan, carrying its genes. You are Uzumaki. HP X3, Vitality, M, plus 0.5. Namikaze, Max. You are the heir and last representative of the clan, whose genes have only been strengthened by the influx of blood from Uzumaki and Yuhi. Chance to induce unreasonable trust plus 10%, chance to convince your opponent if you are insincere plus 15%, insecure plus 20%, sincere plus 30%, perception, M plus 0.2. Vessel of Fury. Are you afraid of demons? You just don't know how to cook them. Half of the soul of Kyubi no Yoko, Kurama, is sealed in your stomach. The Jinchuriki development branch is open. The chance of losing control over the demon is minus 15%, vitality, M plus 0.4. Bidominant. Who said that a mental hospital is crying for me? You haven't communicated with Goranik yet. By the will of the higher powers, you have become a bipolar personality. the risk of becoming crazy plus 20%, mind protection plus 10%, your mental characteristics are average from previous personalities, opens up the opportunity to receive a second stream of consciousness, opens the many faces development branch. Great Kalabak, Category 2. I left Sarutobi, I left Danzo, and I'll leave you Kurama too. Due to the merger of personalities into a new dominance, all bookmarks placed on the old personalities before the merger period were removed. Will, M, plus 0.4. Will of Steel, 4th category. You grew up surrounded by hatred and are still alive. And they didn't even go crazy, probably. Will, M, plus 0.3. Loser, 2 categories. You are unlucky neither in your past life nor in this one, and even in absolute emptiness, you hear laughter at yourself. Luck, minus 20, luck, M, minus 0.3, the chance that you will be mistaken for a clown plus 10%. The power of rotten youth. The power of youth must burn in the heart. There is no room for brains here. The development branch, Green Beast of Konoha, is blocked. The achievement, Youth Burns in Our Hearts, relationship with Might Guy is blocked minus 25. Lucky Combinator, Category 1. When I was a student, I was often told that the most terrible word in science is oops, but having become a scientist myself, I realized that in reality it is often quite the opposite. Luck, plus 5, luck, M plus 0.2. On the kunai blade, Category 2. Jump into the abyss? Easily. Spy on Tsunade in the baths? No problem. You love extreme sports. But be careful that one day this does not lead you to death. Luck, plus 5, luck, M plus 0.3, chance of getting into trouble plus 10%, chance of cutting yourself on a kunai minus 10%. Artist. 1 category. Today your star lit up. The audience applauds. Continue to polish your talent. But remember, the adoration of the crowd is short-lived. Perception, M plus 0.1, will, M plus 0.1, chance that they will believe you plus 5%, chance that you will have fans plus 5%. Intrigue, 1st category. You are like a spider, sitting in the center of the web and pulling the strings of other people's souls. Well, enjoy your power. But sooner or later, every thread will break. Thinking, plus 5, thinking, M plus 0.2, chance that you will be believed plus 5%, chance that you will be betrayed plus 10%. Here is the message about the back to school task. Well, it's time. Although, to be honest, I'm now more concerned about the evening festival in honor of the victory over the Kyubi, patting myself on the stomach. It seems that on this very day they should not have sold me a mask, and then beat me up on top of that. And although I would much rather sit at home today, I still need to check whether the townspeople's attitude towards me has changed. In the end, I've probably already completed a ton of tasks with a reward in the form of reputation among the townspeople. To be completely honest, at least with myself. There is something else that makes me do this, some incomprehensible premonition about this evening. No matter how much I struggled, I could not understand what it was connected with. And the only events today that came to my mind were the events of the canon. Konohagakure no Sato. Evening of the same day. Evening has finally come, what a long day spent waiting. I don't know what awaits me, so I prepared thoroughly. Blades, bracers, smoke bombs and checkers. I even took a few of my latest masterpieces, created at the intersection of alchemy and herbalism, sleep bombs, and fire fog checkers. This world is crazy after all. Flammable pollen, who would have thought such a thing existed? And most importantly, Ino-chan gave me the idea. It turns out that she saw perfectly well what I was throwing around there, saving them from hooligans, and after the interrogation, she showed several interesting plants in her store. So now I have access to quite specific materials. Now chemistry has definitely become alchemy, in exchange for a test batch of the resulting products. No, it's clear that in the long run it won't be profitable for me, but so far I haven't created anything serious, so the ingredients for experiments are more important to me now. In general, I went out in full armor, as if I was going to war and not to a holiday. This is also a strange thing that I still don't understand. How can you celebrate the day of the destruction of your native village? No, I understand everything, they sealed the strongest Biju and all that, but what about the victims? No, I absolutely don't understand this, and I don't want to understand it, to be honest. A familiar feeling. No, I haven't developed a sense for attention directed at me, at least I don't have such a skill yet, it requires 25 perception. Sad, but when you are so closely, the main thing is that they often look at you, willy-nilly you will begin to notice it. I look around the street, looking closely at pillars and trees and other secluded places. Well, yes, here is the familiar dark blue crown, sticking out from behind the tree. Well, okay, I haven't found a mask seller yet, I haven't run into a drunken old man burning with a thirst for revenge against a little boy either, and walking alone is somehow not so interesting. I go up to the tree behind which this silver-eyed miracle is hiding and without saying a word I pull her out of hiding. Oh, she blushed just like that gesture of hers with her index fingers, Kavae. Hello, Hinata-chan. Have you also decided to take a walk around the village before the festival starts? This, no. Yes. You know, He-chan, in response, either a frightened or a delighted squeak, I was thinking. Walking alone is no fun. So come with me. Oh my, didn't I overdo it? She's about to faint. But no, it worked out, but now you can light a cigarette from your face, and the frequency of finger movements is just off the charts. No, after all, this child cannot help but touch you. It's like he's too grown up. Yes. Oh, that was already brave. Well, Professor Naruto will cure you. I grab her hand and before she has time to really understand anything, I drag her to the central square. While the driver thought that she would faint, but no, she seemed to have gotten used to it. And my periodic session of light striptease during classes at the academy, presumably, instilled in her a certain dose of immunity. Well, what can I say, overall the holiday pleasantly surprised me. The entire square was decorated with colorful paper lanterns with drawings and hieroglyphs with wishes, and some even floated in the air. For a fee you can paint and launch your own. A sea of stalls with sweets and souvenirs. I even splurged on 2 portions of dango and an origami windmill for Hina. Quite interesting kabuki performances, describing both real stories, the Battle of Madara and Hashirama or the sealing of the bijou by my parents, and completely fictional ones. And of course, competitions, both quite common for Japanese festivals familiar from that world, as well as exotic ones, like climbing with your hands tied behind your back up steps made of pointed bamboo stems without falling or breaking the reeds with your own weight, and picking up a suspended prize with your teeth. When I asked the owner of the attraction what exactly was the joke, since any ninja who has learned to walk through trees can handle it with ease, they looked at me like that. I even thought, well, it started and I was about to push Hugo behind my back so that she wouldn't get it either. But after seeing my manipulations with the girl and glancing briefly at her clean forehead, the seller somehow suddenly deflated and humbly began to explain, this is what the reputation of the great clan means. In general, the whole secret was that it was from this type of bamboo that they made paper for determining the elements, not to be confused with chakra-conducting paper for seals, and if chakra was applied to it, then the effect was corresponding. That is, the stems will begin to rot/burn/break, in general, the complete set. I don't know what kind of cockroaches were running through Hina's head, but after she repeatedly saw the resident's reaction to me, it's good that she was much calmer than in the canon, and how the owner of the attraction suddenly became deflated after noticing that she was with me. My hand was privatized in the most brazen manner and demandingly captured by her tender hands, declaring her rights to me as her gentleman today. At the same time, the color of her face again took on the color of a ripe tomato, but instead of shame and indecision, her silver eyes expressed a challenge to those around her. Oh what kind of feeling is this? Congratulations! You have felt the killing thirst for the first time. One-time bonus will, +3 perception, +2 vitality, +1. I quickly looked around, but the feeling had already passed. TCH, well, who was it? Although there is no need to guess here, probably someone from her circle. This is how the rest of the holiday passed, arm in arm with Haim of the great clan Hugo. Not to say that I was strongly against it. But this is what they will be whispering about in class tomorrow, I'm 100% sure. If only because we met several classmates during our promenade, and although Hinata-chan was shy almost to the point of fainting, but I never released mine. It's a pity that I never found any tents with masks. Well, all good things come to an end sooner or later. The festival came to an end, thousands of skylights soared into the air and people began to go home. I, like a gallant gentleman, 5, but no longer like 6 years old. It's funny to myself, escorted my lady to her house. Oh. I thought that at the holiday I felt a thirst for murder, but I was sorely mistaken. I felt a real thirst to kill when Hayashi-sama, who was meeting his daughter, saw me arm in arm with Hina. I even saw the legendary illusions of my death. Having brought Hinata-chan's sharply stiff gait to her father and waited until they ceremoniously thanked me for taking care of my daughter, with such a look I can only thank you, and still primly left, little Hugo finally turned around and nodded barely noticeably with a smile, and I think I heard the gnashing of teeth. I finally allowed my legs to give way and fall. Relations with Hugo Hinata +30. Relations with Hugo Hayashi -100. Relations with the Hugo clan -15. The task recognition of the head of the Hugo clan has been opened. Earn Hayashi-san's recognition as a wealthy shinobi before the age of 17. Reward, Hayashi will reluctantly approve of his daughter's choice. Penalty, you better not appear on the territory of the Hugo clan. Hinata-chan will be married off to someone else. Scary. I thought all my bones would be broken right here. And what fool wrote in his fanfictions that Hayashi-san doesn't love his daughter? Father's jealousy is evident. Well, Hinata is certainly a pretty girl, but for some reason it seems to me that this task was given out prematurely. Okay, until 17 years of time is a long time, so I still have time to figure out whether I need it. Phew, well, it seems like I've gone a little bit. It's time to get ready for home, otherwise it's already midnight. But the fact that my premonition did not come true, not counting the spontaneous date with Hina, speaks of the sad fact that I have become completely paranoid. But I'm still so young. Attention! With the beginning of a new day, the global alternate reality patch of the world No. S57-0GH and 937JK80Z comes into force. Fixed the mechanics of elemental chakra. New location available, Moon. New quests, factions, clans, animals, equipment and classes available. New location available, Mars. New quests, factions, clans, animals, equipment and classes available. New locations available, Dark Plains. Available new tasks, factions, clans, animals, creatures and equipment. New dominions are available, mythical and demonic dominions. New summoning contracts, events, classes are available. A new alternative reality of the world is available No. S57-0GH and 935JK80Z, Times of Clan Wars. Have a fun game. Sincerely, your personal game master, parallel personality of the Prince of the Void under the code polite ulcer number 459003728705537-02. Here you go. From what I read, I turned my nose up and plowed the earth with my nose, but in this case I didn't even notice it. I wish I had remained paranoid. Okay, it seems clear with the moon. In the canon something was mentioned about it, I don't remember exactly what, but as a fact itself, but where did everything else come from? So, again this scroll has changed its writing, what else is there? Attention! In connection with the global update, the administration is giving you a bonus. Select one of the following items: glass dagger, unknown mechanism, ancient map, strange mask. Oh, we're alive. That's better. But what should you choose? Well, if I understood the logic correctly, then the items are somehow related to updates. So we discard the map and the dagger at once. For the first one I also need to be released from the village, and the second one is clearly connected with demons. Well, it doesn't matter. What remains is the mechanism and the mask. Well, I won't guess. Since I was so eager to find a mask seller today, it means fate. Congratulations. You received the item, Strange Mask. Attention! A new game feature has been activated. The ratio of PUR is produced, Gamer, Category 5, with the possibilities of an alternative reality of the world No. S57-0GH and 937JK80Z. An incomplete analog has been found. The analog is being adapted in accordance with the new gaming feature. Before I could finish reading, I felt a sharp pain in my right wrist. Oh, Bijou! How it burns! Congratulations! You have received a unique Fuin tattoo inventory. The inventory tattoo is a unique piece of fine art. You can store small and medium-sized items in it according to a number equal to your level. Identical items up to 99 in number are stored in one slot. No chakra is needed to activate. Simply drip your blood onto the seal and with a mental effort, summon the sealed item into your hand. What would any 6-year-old child do in my place? Right. He would decide to quickly try out a new toy. I caught myself thinking this, already reaching for the sleeve of the jacket on my right hand, but fortunately my more mature part remembered that I was kind of a protected, and at the same time, an observed person. And if all the past oddities are at least explainable, then the appearance of Fuin tattoos and masks out of nowhere is clearly too much. Therefore, fired up with some kind of irrational, would even say childish, enthusiasm, I ran home. I couldn't wait to look at my new toys. Having already reached the door to my apartment and simultaneously knocked down several passers-by, it seems that there was even that old guy from the canon who was supposed to beat me. Well, no luck for him, no fate. I finally calmed down a little. So, well, now under the protection of my home, judging by indirect information and recent events, I really am not being watched here. Having calmly undressed, I began to examine my wrist. Well, what can I say? It is something. Let's start with the fact that the tattoo was made in some strange style, sharp or even prickly, I would say. That's not how seals look. In addition, I couldn't help but feel that I had already seen something like that there, but I couldn't remember. I was also taken aback by the fact that the design was 3-color, black/blue/red. This is brilliant. As I understand it, the difference in color is due to the difference in ink, from the author. While ink is used for stamps, ink is used for tattoos. I have already seen how the properties of a print can change depending on the ink. But the fact that this phenomenon can be used for, well, let it be a complex Fuin, was a revelation for me. As far as I remember the canon, nothing like that was even mentioned, and the cursed seal, Shinigami seal, and the art of burning Fuin with bare chakra were considered the pinnacle of art. Just as a person of the 21st century, who knows such terrible words as microcircuit, program, properties of semiconductors, etc. And accordingly, he noticed the analogy with the art of na-da-nia fuin. One has only to imagine how it is possible to complicate the fuin seal function just by using different inks, and Orochimaru will choke himself with envy, and what is this viper, I will surpass my entire clan. In general, the desire to engage in my clan Hidenjutsu flared up in me with renewed vigor. Hurry up and reach level 10. Well, okay, dreams are dreams, but I still have things to do for today. For example, look at what kind of mask this is. I bite my thumb and run over the seal. I concentrate and hop. I have in my hand a terrible Oni mask, on which the shadows of the fire are dancing. But there is no fire. Out of surprise and fear, why lie to myself, I throw the mask into the corner. It's still a demonic object, after all. And that's what I was hoping for. Well, calm down Naruto, you are a future elite shinobi, this mask won't eat you, probably. I approach this horror and slowly and carefully take it in my hands. No, after all, this red grinning muzzle, combined with the otherworldly play of light and shadow on it. It feels like she's watching me. And as soon as she turns away. It's absolutely freezing. Well, Kami prayed, observation. Ancient mask of the dancing shadows. No one knows where this mask came from and what kind of mysterious master carved it. However, the legend of the mysterious dancing shadows mask, which carries its unwary owners to the next world, persists in the world. Allows you to travel through the dark plains. Activation, put on a mask, DS, 50/100/200/500/1000, willpower. Remember that returning to your home plane occurs through repeated activation. Phew. Still not a demonic object. Although, of course, it's also not a ticket to the land of pink ponies, but you can live. Many inhabitants of my past world would ask, why am I actually so afraid of demons? The answer is as simple as 5 kopecks. I am well aware that the much advertised image of noble evil spirits, so popular out there, is nothing more than a PR stunt for selling films/games/figurines, underline as appropriate, and a meeting with real demons will most likely become for me the last, if I don't become a monster myself by then. No, of course, there is a chance that this patch opened the way to some pink snotty vampires sparkling in the sun and suffering from bouts of vegetarianism, but somehow I don't believe it. Dark plans means. If only I knew what it is, it would be a complete mess. And this is also a warning, is it like you'll lose your mask or you won't have enough spiritual strength and won't be able to come back? So what? This is worth remembering, but in general the mask is eerily reminiscent of the Mask of the God of Death, from the canon, only red and painted, in the form of a silver tattoo on the face and gold engraving on the horns. Well, okay, I haven't taken off my arsenal yet, so I'm still fully armed, which means there's no point in cosplaying Kakashi. I put on a mask and concentrate. Select plan. Unknown, DS cost, 50. Unknown, DS cost, 100. Unknown, DS cost, 200. Unknown, DS cost, 500. Unknown, DS cost, 1000. Well, we have to start small here and there is no question. Attention! You are on the first circle of the dark plains of limbo. Natural restoration of JS, DS, chakra is impossible. DS decline zone. Spiritual powers, DS 239/290. 238. 237. 236. Oh no. But for myself. It's good that I started with the easiest thing, otherwise I would have decided to go to the 3rd round. It seems so. And I would have stayed there. Apparently, I have about 3 minutes, then I'll have to return, unless of course I decide to get a permanent residence permit here. As for Limbo itself, it is somewhat reminiscent of the effect of the One Ring from The Lord of the Rings. Faded colors, Some kind of otherworldly wind constantly blowing in your face, no matter where you look, and an oppressive atmosphere with its gloom and despondency. The furnishings themselves remain basically the same. This is still my apartment. It's just that the shabby walls, half-peeled wallpaper and sometimes leaky floors created a feeling of abandonment. Approaching the window, I was convinced that the rest of Konoha looked just as abandoned, but I didn't see any people on the street, although I'm sure that they exist in the real world. It's funny, the movements are slightly slowed down as if I was underwater. I jumped up a little and slowly dropped back to the floor. Not an attraction with lunar gravity, of course, but... how much more is there? 198 ds. In principle it should be enough. I gather my thoughts and, crossing myself, jump from my window onto the street, 3rd floor, if anything. Slowly I float past the window of my neighbor below, 1st floor, all ground. Arrived. And it's cool, the speed of the fall almost doesn't increase. I'll have to try jumping from Hokage Mountain someday. And now. What happened just now at the end of the street? Here we go again. Oh, what kind of clawed paw stuck out? So there seems to be no time to go up the usual way. I jump to the 2nd floor and grab the window opening, look back. I see something fanged and toothy rushing towards me from the other end of the street, as if it had just come off the poster of a Hollywood horror film. That's crap. I push off and jump higher to my window. Quickly into the interior. Phew, now take off the mask. HRR. Oh, is that something growling behind me just now? Grah. I roll to the side and my eyes notice how the dining table in front of which I was standing turns into splinters under the blow of a clawed 4-fingered paw. Smoke blow, bounce back and the room is covered in a dark cloud. I take out shurikens and throw them offhand into the smoke. Gahu. Graya. What's not to like, right? Oh don't get distracted Naruto. Biju. My hand hurts so much, I almost tore it off, you bastard. The next blow was somehow parried with a kunai. How much strength does this monster have? It's like meeting Zabuza's sword with a kunai, and I immediately go into a roll. We play tag for a while, he tries to tear me apart, I try to stab him, but sooner or later everything ends. I'm in the corner, there's simply nowhere else to dodge, not through him. Are you looking forward to it, bastard? Come on. Why are you delaying? And then from the street, somewhere in the distance, a dozen more howls were heard. Was it like inviting friends to the table? Well, it's okay to leave like that with music. I light up one of my latest masterpieces, and throw it straight into the open and drooling. Now I can say that they're drooling for me, mouth. An orange-red fog enveloped his face, and in the next moment the monster burst into flames like a candle. So now we move to the kitchen away from the starting fire and these bone-chilling howls. Concentrate and... What? Why doesn't anything work out? Spiritual powers, DS 23 of 290. 22. 21. Is that all? End? Now his friends will rush here and all I have to do is cover myself with pepper and soy sauce, so that it will be tastier. Oh, and the howls are over. The infection is dead. Experience plus 150. DS plus 75, EXP/2, only on the Dark Plains. HP plus 300, EXP2, only on the Dark Plains. Oh Kami. Thank you. I activate the mask and fall out into my normal apartment. I kiss the floor with joy. My dear world. Don't forget to put smoking sticks for the god of luck. Vitality plus 3. Agility plus 1. Will plus 1. Luck plus 3. I look around and am horrified. My signature orange set can be thrown away, well, not quite canon, of course, rather a more adult version, but I only have 3 of them. The arm was cut from shoulder to elbow, multiple cuts and most likely a broken rib. Eventually. -1 set of clothes, 6 shuriken, and they are not cheap, 200 ryo apiece, 1 smoke bomb and 1 fire fog bomb, and my good mood. Plus, experience and my satisfied curiosity. Well, with such walks, I still want to live. I hide this mask back in my inventory and, after thinking a little, put special training seals, fire bombs and sleep bombs there. Just 4 slots. By the way, who did I kill there? Well, let's look at the logs. Young Folkalak, what kind of miracle is this? The name seems familiar, but I don't remember where I heard it. Okay, now is not the time. That's it, shower and sleep. I hope that thanks to Per Gamer, I'll wake up fresh and healthy tomorrow, but even if not, I'll somehow recover over the weekend. Next morning. Right there. Having woken up from the sound of the morning terrorist, the first thing I did was check my status and general well-being. Well, what can I say? It's cool to be a player. Even a seemingly broken rib no longer hurts. The only thing that saddens me is that from the very first, which is also the most serious, wound, there were scars from the shoulder to the elbow. Now you will have to walk only in clothes that cover your hands, walking until the first skirmish, which can explain such decoration. Well, or find a quiet Iryanin, which is a lie. Honestly, watching the canon back in the past world, I always wondered why many shinobi do not remove their scars. Okay, Marino, for him scars are just another working tool, but Kakashi, Yumina and a sea of other ninjas I've seen. Why don't they remove scars? After all, the work is for the student, nothing more. Or at least that's what I thought before. Now, looking at my first battle scar, I began to understand them a little. Scars are reminders. I know that it sounds banal and hackneyed, but as they say, you can't erase the words from a song. For some it is a mark left by a sworn enemy, for others it is a reminder of the losses of loved ones and relatives, and for others it is a reminder of their stupidity and arrogance, just my version, of their mistakes and their consequences. After all, this is the real world and it is much wider and more complete than the story of a child who wanted to become Hokage. And everyone, absolutely everyone has their own story, experiences, difficulties, their own small, and not so small, defeats and victories. So you need to stop with your star fever. Just because someone drew a manga based on your life does not make you the center of the earth. They would have eaten me in limbo and that would have been the end of the story. So get yourself together and finally start thinking with your own head. The fact that half of your consciousness belongs to a 6-year-old child is not a reason to behave so recklessly. Remember the same Shikamaru, but he is the same age as me. So we dealt with self-flagellation, now it's time for a shower and breakfast. Already finishing my homemade curry with rice, however, I'm growing. I decided to think, what do you need for a more or less comfortable stay in limbo? The first and main thing is more DS, you don't even need to think about it. 3 minutes is not even funny. At least it's good that killing local animals restores some spiritual and vitality, otherwise there would be a complete mess. Second, weapons. The blades are of course good and an experienced ninja, I'm sure, would chop up local living creatures with them without straining. Except I'm not an experienced ninja, I'm not even a genin yet. So we need something more substantial than kunai. Well, this world has followed the Asian version, so let's not be original and opt for the katana. This leads to point number 3. You will most likely have to practice kenjutsu at home and on your own. Since I still cherish the idea of getting shadow clones for release, I haven't thought about how to do this yet. It's better not to show off all my successes. It's one thing for an idiot who loves and knows how to fight. No one except Ino-chan takes my alchemy studies seriously anyway, and even then I'm not sure about her, and quite another for a young shinobi who fights equally well both hand-to-hand and with blades, oh which few people know either, and even dabbling in kenjutsu for a complete set. A completely different flavor. It seems like a small thing, but somehow I doubt that Mizuki-sensei will risk offering me to steal the scroll if I fail the exam, or that the Hokage will buy the story of how I was cruelly deceived. The fourth point, ammunition. Bracers alone are clearly not enough, so you need to find them or order them. I think a black and orange jacket, with hidden metal inserts on the torso, shoulders and forearms with similar pants and fingerless gloves and metal knuckles would be just right. On a good note, I still need to think about protecting my head, but here they simply won't understand me. They'll also write you down in your underpants. The fifth point will be alchemy. It's time to switch from smoke fumes to something more combative, which means we'll have to think about how to get a couple of ingredients for granular smokeless gunpowder or even an aluminum explosion mixture. On the one hand, both the effect and the composition are simpler. On the other, aluminum, you will find it in a free state, but to condense it you will most likely have to use chakra. And yes, I recently noticed that as your skills increase, your intuitive understanding of your capabilities also grows. I repeat, it's cool to be a player, and given my education and long hours on the internet, I'm still there. In general, the effect is simply explosive. Well, the last number, training, and more training. Well, I've decided on my list of things to do for the near future. It's time to start. Flower shop, Yamahane. Same day. Putting another heavy flower pot on the top shelf and going to Yamanako Ino for the next one. I start a conversation. Ano, Ino-chan? Can I ask you, are you training your strong-willed qualities and character? I just wanted to ask you if you could help me with training, or at least tell me where to start. You come from a family of mediums and you simply need a strong will. Surely you have some kind of training? Listen, Naruto-kun. It's not that these trainings didn't happen. It's just... Oh no. You misunderstood me. I don't need your family's secrets or anything like that. But there is probably something simpler. Some kind of training available to all clan children or something like that. Here, put this flower here. As for training, let's get back to this conversation after work, okay? Well, stay here for now, you know what to do, but I need to leave for a while. With these words, she left me and left the back room. I suppose I went to consult my father. Ibid. A few hours later. Otsukaresamada, from the author, thank you for your work. Naruto, are you doing anything today? Yeah, I guess not, but what is Ino-chan? Not busy? Then you are going on a date with me today. Oh, what an orderly tone this is, as if she didn't invite you on a date, but brought a summons to the military registration and enlistment office. Obviously noticing my facial expression, this beast began to develop success until I came to my senses. So I'll meet you in 2 hours at the lake with a waterfall near the hot springs district, and don't forget your swimming trunks. Do not be late. Well, okay, I still have to get ready, bye. After which, blonde hair gathered in a ponytail flashed in front of my face and the store door closed. What happened just now? And it's no longer possible to refuse or simply not come. He himself said that he was free. While I was thinking about the treachery of the fair, a familiar feeling pricked me in the back of my head, only this time it was somehow strange. I turn around sharply and look around the street. Empty. It probably seemed. Lake near the hot springs district. Evening. And so I sit under the waterfall in the lotus position and try to experience Zen. The date got something else. Let's start with the fact that when I arrived at the lake about 15 minutes before the appointed time, I found there Hinata. She was happily playing in the company of 13 other guys, half of whom belonged to the Hugo clan, mostly a side branch, and a couple of girls and one cheerful boy from the Uchiha. They even wear their emblem on their swimsuits. Looking at this disgrace, I began to understand that it didn't seem like it. And yet, how cleverly she pulled it all off, and yet this shy girl somehow managed to overcome herself and invite her friends to swim. I won't forget Ino-chan's face when she realized how harshly she had been screwed. She even tried to come at me at first, probably thinking that it was I who called everyone, but Hai-chan, who was cutely hiding her eyes, quickly stopped these insinuations, offering to leave this beach and join the general fun. It was a masterpiece. And what kind of eyes everyone who knew Hinata had, at least a little. The sight of their surprised faces will warm my heart for a long time. Although the blonde was also not at a loss and, with a final sigh, still joined the company. In general, the day was fun, and in the evening, when the satisfied company, having had a lot of fun, dispersed, only Hinata and Ino-chan were left with me. Yamanaka-chan stopped me and asked if I still remembered about willpower training. So now I sit in the waterfall in the lotus position under the supervision of a beautiful blonde teacher sitting in the same position to my right and comprehend Zen. Hinata-chan, by the way, also became interested and is now sitting on the left. Completely surreal. It's just that the situation is a little delicate. No, while we are still children everything is fine, but how can I get out of it later? Will +1. But it seems to work. That's the end of the story.